Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork and Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program, completely and absolutely loaded up. You'll hear from your two coordinators. We are 2 days away from the Ohio State spring game. Matt Patricia, Brian Hartline. You will hear from them coming up at 9:30, 9:45. A little bit of Shelley time. Shelley time a little earlier than normal. We'll get into that as the Jackets back at home tonight against the Sabres. 10 o'clock, your emails. A full mailbag is ready to be consumed. A lot of good stuff in there, all over the map. Finebaum at 10:30. 11 o'clock, we do a little higher, lower. And then at 11:30, as the Handsome Update anchor just reminded you, Ryan Day will join the program a couple of days in advance of the spring game. It is rare that I would choose to watch an NBA game on a random Wednesday that is not a playoff game and does not involve the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I like drama, and I like to see how folks respond to drama, and I like to see how crowds respond when guys come back. I've been lucky enough in my career to be at two of the really odd returns. The LeBron James return, I think I talked about that yesterday on the show, of him returning to Cleveland. Now, it's important to remember that what we saw last night with Luka Doncic and the Lakers and Mavericks was not that, because LeBron left of his own accord. It was his choosing to take his talents to South Beach. And so he was the gladiator, and everyone was rooting for the Lions to eat him. That was the feeling there. It was an uneasy feeling that day up in Cleveland. The other one that I remember here locally very vividly was the return of Rick Nash. That one was a little bit more mixed. It was not... I remember hoping that the fans cheered him, but understanding also their side if they chose not to. It ended up being cheers the first time through and then boos from that point on, and then it got incredibly chippy between him and Bob, and then eventually he fought Matty Calvert. Like that actually happened. It was one of the more surreal things that I'd ever been to in person. It was absolutely a crazy thing to see that. And I remember catching up with Rick in the post-game locker room. He's gracious enough to give me a little bit of time in the Rangers locker room. And for him, there was just such an incredible relief that it was over, that it was done. Like, there was an anticipation to it. He obviously loved Columbus. Everybody remembers the circumstances with which he finally left. And I think most hockey folks kind of understood it a little bit. At that time, the operation really wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. But there was still bitterness because he's the best player to ever play here. And that night was surreal for all of us in attendance, and certainly for Rick. Go ahead, Bake. You got a point on that?
Well, it's just funny. 2 points on that. One, I'll never, ever forget, Bo, where I was. And for some reason, I was not home. I'm guessing that was probably when Nash returned. That was about the time that I was in broadcasting school, and I was running here and there all the time. Yeah. But I'll never forget where I was looking up and watching that on the TV and seeing Nash and Bob going at it. And then the face-off when him and Calvert get tied up and they end up going to the ground, and all of a sudden they start chucking knuckles. Another story about Rick getting traded, Bo. I was in a golf outing that Rick was supposed to be playing in the day he got traded. So, like, literally, Rick's dad is there and is foursome with him and everybody, and Rick plays the first couple holes and takes off because he just got traded, and they had to play the rest of their golf outing without him.
Yeah, remember that being one of, like, the first times you ever kind of had or I ever remember, like, a he said, she said, or he said, they said sort of way about a move with a big player that you cared about. Because in my lifetime, you'd had the Browns, but that had really never materialized. Anything like superstar player wants out and organizations going to try to spin it as, well, yeah, he wanted out. He was being difficult, so we moved him. And when you finally get to the truth, which is somewhere in between, it was not great for both parties in terms of doing that deal.
Well, I think, look, they tried everything. I mean, they tried Jeff Carter. I mean, that was right before that. They acquired Jeff Carter, and the idea was he was going to play center with Nash. And there just was really, in retrospect, there was really no path forward for them to improve the team with Nash. I mean, it was just, I got it from his perspective entirely. They were very wayward at that time, even, as they're trying to get this build right. But, I mean, that also led to Dubinsky coming here. Mm-hmm. Some of those pieces were pieces that allowed for that run where they were, kind of in the postseason and on a relatively consistent basis. So it was one of those things where everybody kind of won. But make no mistake, Rick wanted out. Like Rick was tired of not making the playoffs. He'd played his entire career here and bagged a bunch of goals, and it was time, from his perspective, to play in the Stanley Cup. And I think for most of us, at least me, my view of that was, I get it. They tried. He tried. It was never about effort for him. He gave all of it. And he's back here now, which tells you how much he loves the city and the organization and everything that was involved with it. What happened last night was not that, though. And it wasn't LeBron. And it wasn't any other former player returning to play in a city. This was a peak of his power, super duper star, traded in his prime, out of nowhere, against his wishes. Did not want to be traded. Was plenty happy in Dallas and thought he was going to play his entire career in Dallas, and was shocked by the trade. And albeit to a glamorous operation like the Lakers, sure, to play with LeBron, yeah, that's fun. You can wrap your head around it. But this was not the intent. And I've never seen that before. I've racked my head trying to think of, like, beloved player left, but wasn't his choice. The only thing I could think of, and Fish would have a better recollection of this than me as a Chicagoan, I don't remember if when Jordan returned to the United Center the first time, I remember him with the Wizards, and I remember there was a big deal about Ray Clay, in my head anyway, there was a big deal about Ray Clay, who's a longtime voice of the Bulls, wanting to do 6'6" from North Carolina, Michael Jordan. And the Bulls, I think Reinsdorf, in my memory serves, Reinsdorf was like, nah, not having it. And I think Clay maybe actually even got fired over it. I can't remember if they ended up doing it or not, but it was a big deal. But that was a situation where the folks in Chicago kind of felt like, well, if Jerry Krause wasn't with the Bulls at that time, Michael would have kept playing, was kind of the feeling around that time. But rack your brains. Trying to think of another situation where a beloved superstar is sent packing, not of his choosing, not via free agency for greener pastures, but rather because ownership wanted a change.
Bo, I don't remember.
It's crazy. He was balling.
I don't remember. Was that the case with Ken Griffey Jr. when he came to the Reds?
No, he signed. Free agent.
Okay, that was no, that was a trade. Because I remember the Reds sent Mike Cameron the other way in that deal.
Was it a forced trade, though?
I don't know if it was or not. I mean, I know Griffey wasn't upset about coming to Cincinnati, obviously, with it being his hometown. But I remember vividly that the Braves were in on it. Let me see. All right. Not only did Griffey want to live closer, but he wanted to be able to raise his kids. So it was an off-season trade. February 10th, Griffey was traded to the Reds for pitcher Brett Tomko, outfielder Mike Cameron, and then he signed the $112 million contract. So he wanted out of Seattle, is what that was. I couldn't remember how that went down.
Yeah, it was an off-season deal. I remember the Braves. Everyone thought he was going to go to the Braves because at that point the Braves had all the Turner money in the world and were spending like crazy. And everyone thought he would go play with the Braves because he had a house, I want to say, in Isleworth in Orlando. I think that's it. So there was some thought of that. But there just aren't many examples of it. I don't know if it ever happened. You'd have to ask the MIT kids to look into it. I don't know if, like, for example, did Joe Montana ever return to San Francisco as a Kansas City Chief? Because they certainly wouldn't have wanted him traded. As good as Steve Young was, they wouldn't have wanted him traded. There just aren't examples of it. There really aren't. Where it's of ownership's choosing, not the players. Usually, when there's the divorce of a superstar, it goes the other way. It was great, and he was unbelievable. By the way, my thoughts of an under 47.5. He damn near had that combination at half. He had 31 at half, finished with 45, 8, and 6 in the game. And it kind of also an example of how ridiculously terrifying they're going to be in the West with him and LeBron playing off each other.
Yeah, he's going to be a menace. Like, the idea, and this goes kind of back to my point of, like, with Nash and the Blue Jackets, is it almost felt like the narrative was out there that he wanted out of Columbus. Like, he didn't want anything to do with Columbus or the organization, and it was more skewed towards the organization. With the Mavericks, you got all those stories about Luka Doncic and that they're worried about his weight. And it's like, what I'm seeing on the court, like, is none of that. Like, he's able to do everything that he did in Dallas, obviously a little bit more rejuvenated because when you've got LeBron, kind of everything, you a little bit more pep in your step, but he's doing no-look passes. He's finding guys in the corner. He's making three-pointers. It boggles the mind. And to your earlier question about has something like this ever happened? No. I'm willing to go out there and say nothing like this has ever happened in any sport. And we're about to see, I think, a pretty deep run by this Lakers organization. And I don't know if the Mavericks, probably just the play-in tournament is their future. Maybe a 1 or 2 game off in that one, but it was also, like Mike Breen on the call last night was trying to say, like, well, the roster's good without all the injuries. It's like you traded for Anthony Davis, Mike.
Yeah,
I get it, like on paper, but come on, man.
There's also, like, from their perspective, there's no path forward now in a build. Look, he's 27. Like, you could have built around him for another 5-8 years. Like now. You reset that. It was crazy to watch, and I just felt sick for Maverick fans because that's just such a brutal spot to try to be in and make sense of. Really cool moment this morning down at Augusta National. The Masters is underway. We'll give some picks, have a little bit of fun with just a tradition unlike any other, and truly is. That's coming up next. Loaded Up Ryan Day coming up at 11:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Chevrolet, Central Ohio's #1 Chevy dealer. Lease a new 25 Chevy Trax, $139 a month, or a new 2025 Silverado, just $288 a month at all 5 Coughlin Chevy locations and CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Trax is a 36-month lease with $39.99 due at signing. Silverado is a 24-month lease with $49.99 due. Both plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! full Dr. Pepper.
With sweet blackberry flavor.
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me.
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out.
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Your latest forecast will be in the 50s this afternoon as things dry out. Another quick burst of rain, maybe a rumble of thunder possible later today, but most stay dry. Will be colder Friday, mostly dry and in the 40s, mostly dry, partly cloudy, and in the 50s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Anthony on social with a Bernie Kosar. But did Bernie return to Cleveland? This is way before my time. Did Bernie... so he's traded by Belichick. Or cut by Belichick, I can't remember. But what I don't know is, did he return to Cleveland as to start against the Browns? He ended up playing for the Cowboys and the Dolphins. But I don't know that part of it. I don't know if Bernie ever returned to Cleveland as a starting quarterback against the Browns.
We'll have to look that up. I know that my father to this day still hates Bill Belichick for that.
For that, yeah. Yeah. You know, I've talked to Bernie a lot through the years, and him and Belichick have, they've made amends, like it's all good. I guess I've never really had an in-depth conversation with him about what led to that or what his feeling was about all of that. I'm sure his feeling was he wanted to continue to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But then Belichick, if memory serves, he brought in Testaverde, I think.
That's correct. Yes, Testaverde came in.
Yeah, and then they made the run with Testaverde in the postseason, and then the next year, the year that they announced they were going to move, they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the pick to win the Super Bowl. It was in '94, I think. So, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if Bernie ever returned to Cleveland as a starting quarterback, but that would have had that.
So Bernie only made 3 starts in his career after he was traded.
So probably not.
So, yeah, I don't think that he would have.
Yeah. I'll tell you where, speaking of the Browns, I tell you where it would happen would be Nick Chubb. If they don't re-sign Nick Chubb this offseason and he goes and plays somewhere else and starts at running back in Cleveland against the Browns, there you'd have it. You'd have that type of feeling to it. Because I'm sure he'd love to be back. He's just been through a lot of injuries. I'm sure they're trying to find a number that makes sense. But him returning as a starting running back somewhere else would have that. Would check that box, absolutely. I am a sucker for nostalgia. I've noticed, even as I've gotten old, I become even more so. And you flip on the TV this morning, and you see Augusta National on the first tee, and you see Fred Ridley in his – he's like as if Fred Ridley's like time stood still. Like, Fred Ridley could be the boss at the Masters in 2025 in that look. He could be the boss of the Masters in 1976 in that look. It's no different. He's out of central casting. He's everything you'd want the guy running the Masters to look like, sound like, all of it. The haircut, everything. It's perfect. So he comes out there and he welcomes everybody. And then Gary player Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson start the Masters. And they've only been doing it this way forever. The legends who have started the Masters have changed through the years. Arnold Palmer for the longest time. Jack, didn't know if Jack was ever going to do it because you just didn't know if he would want to. But then once he did, it's just you just can't imagine it happening without him. Jack's somebody that we see, of course, at the Memorial Tournament every single year. And so he's so near and dear to our heart and such a central part of sporting life in Ohio, but especially here in Central Ohio. But to see him there, which is almost like his second home when you think about a 6-time winner. And for many of us, especially if you're a man or a woman, rather, either way, in your 40s, you probably have some fuzzy memories of him in 86 and Vern Lundquist with the yes, sir. You have that somewhere in your back of your mind, some memory of Jack winning in 1986. Or at the very least, you've seen it 1,000 times. And what I think is so cool about Augusta, one of the million things that are so cool about it is they really don't care about anything other than doing their golf tournament a specific way. They do not adapt. They do not evolve. It's the same. The course, sometimes they tinker with it, looks slightly different because of the technology in the game. But unless you're a diehard golf fan, you probably don't even notice that at all. What you get when you turn on the Masters is a familiar voice. You get a familiar sound, a familiar music, a look, a grass that is so green that I cannot think of another golf course on the planet that looks that way. I really can't. There's just not a single blade of grass out of place. There's not a pine straw on the ground. There's not. A couple of years ago, there was during play, a tree fell in the middle of a fairway, and they had it cleaned up. It was like an army of folks who could cut down and handle trees, had the thing cleaned up entirely in what felt like about 7 minutes. A whole tree down, no problem, on it, cleared. Even when they have crazy weather, it doesn't seem like it affects the course. You'll see, sometimes they'll get crazy rain down there, and you'll see it pooling in fairways, but then by the time it comes back to play, it looks like it's been under the sun for 4 days. I don't know how they do it. It's a stunning thing. I know that there are some folks around here who have played it because you're very, very well connected, and there's some folks who have been very well connected and been able to play, or they do a really cool thing where the media that covers the Masters on a yearly basis, there is a lottery. I'm sure it's still going on. There is a lottery, and a certain number of guys and gals who cover it then get to play it the Monday after. They go out and get to play it. So I know, like Matt Barnes at Channel 4, I know he's played it a couple of times because he worked in Augusta. I think Jared Smalley at Channel 4 maybe did too. There's a couple of guys who did. And the whole point was that you were going to have you were able to play the course. The television station I was at in Tallahassee had covered WCTV had covered the Masters every year for like 30 some years. And to give you an idea of how difficult it is, this story, I think, articulates it. They had covered it for 30, 40 years. Like every year, they were one of the legacy stations. They're owned by the Phipps family. It's a big, wealthy family down in the South. And that was just something they did. It was a CBS affiliate. We went and covered it. So the year before I got there, the sports director at the station had cancer and passed away. And so the sports department was very short-staffed and could not cover the Masters. I want to say it was 2001, something like that. They weren't able to cover it. So the next year, I had been hired, and we had a full staff, and we put in credentials for the Masters. And the Masters responded back, declined. And we said, well, wait a second. We covered the Masters for 30, 40 years. What are you talking about? And they said, well, you can get back to covering the Masters, but you got to come cover the practice rounds for 5 years before we'll let you cover the tournament again.
Yeesh.
So come on a Monday, Tuesday, do the par 3, and then get the hell out of town. And if you do that for 5 years, we'll put you back in the regular rotation. I have no idea if that's the case still. I don't. But it gives you a little bit of an example of what that place is all about. And they have rules that they follow very stringently. You never hear of anybody, you never see like public drunkenness at the Masters. None of it. I'm sure it happens. It has to. They serve alcohol. Or maybe people are just in such awe of the place that they don't. Nate on social, he actually did the food. He's got the full food order here. He's got all the chips. He's got all of his spreads, his pimento cheese, his egg salad. He's got his popcorn. He's ready to go. I need a review of what he. I'm getting that next year. I'm going to set a reminder. I'm getting that next year. I just want to see the packaging.
When do you have to have it purchased by?
It's got to be. I mean, it was all sold out. I looked earlier this week because I waited too long. It was all sold out by early this week.
Yeah, that feels like a February purchase.
How about Freddie Couples, by the way, at his age, using the yellow golf ball, just going out and birdieing the first hole. No big deal.
Of course he is.
No big deal.
Why wouldn't he? Sweetest swing ever, baby. Freddie does. Of course he does. He opened a golf course. Speaking of Tallahassee, he opened a golf course, Southwood, that he designed in Tallahassee. They built a community around it, and he did the golf course. And I had to play a couple of rounds with Freddie Couples. As bad as I suck at golf,
that's
having to hit golf balls in front of Jack Nicklaus, Fred Couples, and then Davis Love, who designed another course down there, Kindaloo Forest outside of Valdosta. I've had to get golf balls in front of it's the worst ever experienced. Freddie could not have been cooler, though. The smoothest cat ever. And he's always great here. He was in the mix a couple of years ago on the final day.
It's one of the few tournaments where some people just have an eye for this course, and it doesn't matter like how old they are or how they've played anywhere else recently. I feel like Jose Maria Olazabal was always someone like that. It was just, it didn't matter how bad he had been. He's going to go to Augusta, and he's going to be in the mix to make the cut.
That's why I think we have such hope always for Tiger here, because his intellectual knowledge of the course is second to none. And that even at an advanced age, because of his ability to putt there's a shot, right? I think what everybody wants this year is Scotty and Rory. I mean, that's what everybody wants to see, is somehow the two of those guys being in the mix on the final day. Rory typically at Augusta, since he blew up on the back nine when he had it in the bag a few years ago, that's been a long time now. He usually blows up on day one. I don't know that he's had a great day one at Augusta in a decade. Feels like it's a steady diet of 73, 71, 72. I don't know if he's been in the 60s on day one of the Masters in forever. But that's obviously what you're hoping for. In terms of the odds before this whole thing started, you had Scotty at 12-1, Rory 14-1, Colin Morikawa at 20-1, Bryson DeChambeau 22-1, Jon Rahm 25-1, Ludwig Oberg at 22-1, as they are off and running at the Masters. We'll keep you updated as the day goes along. Spring game 2 days away. Your two coordinators met with the media on the spring game preview show. Some highlights from Brian Hartline and Matt Patricia coming up next in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get Eco. ECO. A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get Eco. ECO. Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get Eco to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, Eco would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? Soap and juice.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. We are 2 days from the spring game at Ohio State. What's our most recent weather? What do we got? We were low 50s, mid 50s, but dry. It's a monster day because aren't the Jackets early afternoon too?
They're at noon 30.
Yep.
So they're at noon 30. Oh man! And then spring game right there, and then I know that the Ohio State Maryland lacrosse game is damn near
That's at
sold
2
out.
o'clock. Yep.
And that's at 2.
And I believe Ohio State, I can't remember who they're playing this weekend in baseball, but there's baseball at Bill Davis that afternoon too, right after the spring game.
So you're looking at 45 for kickoff. 52 is the high Saturday, mostly cloudy, but no rain in the forecast again for Saturday. You're going to have rain Friday and Sunday, it looks like.
The wind...
You gotta have the no rain. And go ahead, Vic.
I was just going to say the wind is going up. Earlier in the week, it was about 5 miles an hour. Now they're saying 10 with gusts up to 20.
I'm going to tell you something. April, you got a lot of work to do to win me back. I mean, you have broken us. You've broken us as a society in Ohio in April. I mean, March was better so far. At least there was something. I mean, when are you going to, speaking of the Masters, everybody wants to play golf. When are you going to be able to have a cart?
You better get your galoshes on.
4th of July, Independence Day, get the carts out, maybe? Just one plug after another. That's kind of what you're headed for. We got it. This is enough. It's brutal. And the extended, there's some warming up towards the end of the weekend, but it's just brutal stuff to start the month. Spring game still ought to be pretty decent, though. So as long as there's no rain, you got a chance for success. And you feel like Ohio State's going to put on a big show. We'll ask Ryan Day about his conducting of that show when he joins us at 11:30 today. Brian Hartline spoke of that yesterday on the spring preview show. Here is Coach Hartline on Coach Day and the plan for the spring game.
Coach Day had great perspective on the length of the season, the importance of developed depth, not just guys that, it'd be ideal to play, but they earned it. And then they have guys that are, earning playing time and then being able to play multiple guys. The O-line felt that. The running backs felt it. We felt it. So Coach Day had great perspective on that. So, being mindful of that in this spring, understanding that, the college game is constantly changing, roster depths and expectations. So it's definitely a balancing act. Coach Day has been elite at that, and as coaches, we followed his beat. So he's done a great job of that, and it's paid off for us, and definitely did last year.
Yeah, curious to ask Coach when he joins us in a couple hours here if this has worked. I mean, they played a game 2/3 of the way through January. They had next to no time off. He did an incredible media blitz all over the place. Like they didn't do the spring break. Here's a week off. How has this worked? Does he like what they've done here? We'll ask him at 11:30 when he joins us. Of course, when you talk about Ohio State this season, the number one question, and it is because it's the most important position of sports, it's justified, is the quarterback position. Here is the offensive coordinator, Ohio State, Brian Hartline, on his QBs.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to grow individually. I think spring is built for, self-improvement. You want to grow individually, so at some point you can add to the collective, right? And so that's what it's all about: personal growth, individual growth, getting better day in and day out, showing my peers how consistent I can be, because consistency is everything. It's not that you can make the play; it's how often you make the play that ultimately defines your career. So they're chasing that. They're doing a good job putting their foot forward, but they're trying to win their peers over, day in and day out.
One thing that'll be interesting as we get into next fall will be the idea of what type of quarterback do they want at Ohio State this year? Because the two guys competing for it are pretty different in terms stylistically of what they're best at, although both are probably a little bit better than people think at the things that people think they're deficient at. But the reason I say that is with Will last year, we talked a lot about just point guard it, man. Like, you got a ton of weapons. You got those two backs, like great offensive line returning. McLaughlin came in at center, sort of solidified that. Like, now he ended up having to be a lot more than that in December and January. But the expectation you have to remember was just come in and be a game manager, handle it. He far exceeded that, but that was the intent. I think these guys have to be a little bit more than that, or they have to build to be more than that. They don't have to be that right away against Texas, but I do think there's some major questions still on this roster. I think there are questions still at running back. I think there are questions on the offensive line. You might need that quarterback to be a playmaker. So maybe we'll see some signs of that on Saturday.
Yeah, I think 4 and 2 are your only knowns. Everybody else you have some questions about. If it's a guy like Austin Sareveld or if it's Carson Hinsman, you kind of wonder for Sareveld, is he going to start at tackle? Or for Hinsman, is he going to be able to replicate how he did last year, as an interior offensive lineman? Those kind of pieces, how they're going to fit together. You get your first real look at that on Saturday. And then with his question about, or your question about, is this going to work? Is this spring that they've been the newest spring because of the shortened amount of time between the national championship and the actual start of spring ball? Was this effective? I don't know if you're going to know till October or maybe even November.
I think the thing that I'm looking at a lot on Saturday, and we talked about it a little bit earlier this week, is I think both of these quarterbacks have the talent to take this team and lead this team and make plays for this team. Which guy are we going to see kind of has the team behind him? Which guy has taken hold of the offense and the guys believe in that guy? That's what I'm really interested to see if we can see any kind of lean or indication on Saturday.
Yeah, I always go back to the Fields spring day and how spring game, and we were like, I don't know if he can play quarterback here, and then boy could he. So that's the thing. We don't see all of it. So you get this one kind of flash. You get these availabilities and they've had a lot of them. They've done a great job of giving you a lot of availabilities, but we don't see it day in and day out. And I also think Ryan really wants the first 2 weeks of camp next year to be competitive at that position. I don't think that he's comfortable in that realm. I know we want to rush it because it's Texas and all of that, but he is comfortable with that position battle going into August. He's done it every year.
Would it or should it surprise anybody if Julian Sang goes out there and struggles mightily on Saturday?
I don't know that it would surprise me any more than if Lincoln Kienholz did.
Right. Like if one of these two guys just has a bad day.
Yeah.
And of course we'll overreact to it as hard as we possibly can on Monday.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean the collective we.
Yeah.
But this is, for these guys, their first kind of opportunity to do this at Ohio Stadium.
Well, and it's interesting. I don't think it surprised anybody because we saw them in a limited opportunity in the spring game last year struggle. Lincoln did not have a great day. You remember at the end of the half in the 2-minute drill, Ryan really getting on Lincoln, telling him you've got to anticipate that better. You've got to see it. And Julian, if you remember, it was really windy last year in the spring game, and it looked like Julian maybe didn't have the arm strength on that one out pass that he threw because the wind really took it, and he just wasn't used to that. So, yeah, I don't think it would surprise anybody. It may throw off some alarms, though, for people around here. Some people may overreact big time to it.
Is it on BTN?
I believe that it is.
I think they'll have coverage of it. I know Tyvus is doing sidelines for the Big Ten Network.
Okay.
So obviously they're going to put that face on television.
Yeah, clearly. Matt Patricia available yesterday as well. One of the things that he has had to learn is some Ohio State terminology, and he weighed in on that yesterday.
Yeah, I totally think that's the best thing to do is when you're coming into a new situation, try to obviously, myself learn the vernacular, learn the terminology, be able to relate, the different things. Obviously, they had a great year last year, great defense, did a lot of really awesome things. So for me, just trying to learn as much as I can from the great assistant coaches that we have here and, the players. And, there's some different sprinkles and flavoring that you add in, but, just trying to keep everything familiar. One of the things with football terminology, it's like learning a language. So just, trying to keep as much of the language the same as you can, I think always helps.
Yeah, it certainly does. He's been awfully impressive early on here, and just talking to folks on that staff. That's happening behind the scenes as well. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, just real quick. So Ohio State's spring football game is going to be on the Big Ten Network at noon, and then they're going to go right into men's lacrosse, Ohio State and Maryland.
Nice. Very good. Josh, with this on social, Bo, I need your help with the question. Why does Fred Ridley get to wear the green jacket? Dude has never won, let alone played in the Masters. I love this golf tournament, but if that jacket is so prestigious, what does that mean? Why does that man get to wear it? So, Josh, all of the members of Augusta get to wear it, but they can only wear it there. It's just like the guys win it. The Masters jacket, it gets to leave when you are the champion. You get to take it out and wear it on the talk show circuit and all that. But other than that jacket stays. It stays there. I think it was Nick Faldo told a great story about how he stole one, and it's in England. I remember.
Good thing they don't have extradition.
Yeah, no.
It's amazing.
But that's it. The other thing to remember too with Augusta is you see the logo that you see on all of the gear is the yellow Masters flag, and it says Masters on it, right? That yellow flag. The member logo is actually green at Augusta. It's a green flag, not a yellow one. No one's a member there.
Could you imagine someone chasing down Faldo like the scene in Happy Gilmore? I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
No, I cannot. A little bit of Shelley time. Jackets back at home hosting the Sabres. It was good last time out. We hope to see it for it to be good tonight as well. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Foodie alert! Alton Brown's farewell tour, Last Bite, is coming to Columbus on April 22nd at Mershon Auditorium. Expect culinary chaos and scientific surprises. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster. Don't let this delicious opportunity slip away.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel Ohio. Tel Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
Your home is more than just four walls and a roof. It's where life happens, where memories are made, where family gathers, and where you should feel safe. At Newman Roofing, we know that when it's time for a new roof, you want to feel confident that you've hired the right company. One that will install a quality roof and complete the work as promised. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has helped more than 7,500 families protect their homes with quality roofing, gutters, and siding. We believe you deserve a company that provides a white glove customer experience, one that pays attention to every detail and treats your home like it's our own. At Newman Roofing, we're not just another roofing company. We're a family-built business that stands behind our work. So when it's time to replace your roof, don't settle for uncertainty. Choose the local family with a reputation for excellence. Choose the company you can trust. Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Lindsay Automotive is Central Ohio's big certified pre-owned outlet. LindsayCertified.com makes it easy to find the right car at the right price. All models include certified warranties and inspections, new car financing, and more.
Up to 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Lindsay has it. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. You love the shopping experience, whether online or in person.
Shop LindsayCertified.com.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll talk Masters with PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh. Plus, we'll head to Augusta with SI.com's Bob Harrigan.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
The gloves. Shelley time.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida. Discover the real Florida magic at visitcentralflorida.com.
Oh, a little bit of Shelley time on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Jackets and Sabres tonight, coming off a good one last time out. The Masters starting today down at Augusta. I know you're an avid golfer, my friend. Have you ever been? Have you ever played it?
No, I have not. I mean, it's always right at this time at the end of the year. And the closest I came to going was we were in Nashville on a road trip, which was only a 6-hour drive, apparently. And the thought crossed our minds, a few of us, to drive down there. But it's not really close, I guess. But that's as close as I got to going. It's never been down there. I know Nasher got that as a gift. Remember when they retired his jersey?
That's right.
So he took some good buddies from back home and went down there. But, what a special time of year. I'd love to go.
Did Nasher play it? Or did he got around?
He got around because it was a gift from the McConnell family. Remember? And so he did it right.
I feel like you're going to get to play it in your lifetime, though.
Well, I should try. My son is a high school golfer, so I would expect that to be on the list of attempts. Yes.
It's one of the few things out there that if you don't know somebody, you don't have a chance, and you have to know somebody significant. Have you played in and I know that the schedule sometimes makes it a little bit difficult, but have you found yourself through people playing anything similar? I'm not talking about the tournament, obviously, but just like Pine Valley in New Jersey or Cypress Point or any of those things. Did you ever find yourself in one of those type of places?
When I played when I was in New Jersey, I got to play one of the top-ranked courses around. I didn't even know it. It was over in Pennsylvania. It was the one with the red baskets on the flag for the flagpoles. It was
Why
great.
am I blanking on it?
But I went there with a couple teammates, and then I didn't realize how close the other top-ranked golf courses. I'm blanking right now on golf courses.
Marion. You played Marion.
Marion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been in those situations where my golf game, though, Bo, it's just flat out, and I go through the whole thing where I get a new golf shirt and I shine up my clubs and I got the best balls and I'm I give my caddy the bag and I'm like, here I am. And off the first tee, you can hit another one. And I'm like, terrible start.
My response
so
when they
warm up.
when the folks like, you can hit another one, I'm like, it's not going to be any better. Like, don't worry about it. Well, I'll just hit that one.
Just leave me alone. I'll play it from there in the ditch. So,
so you said your son's a high school golfer?
Yeah, my son plays high school golf. Yeah. One of my best golf stories, though, is Vrabel took me out with he invited me to golf, and I didn't know who was going to be there on the course. He's like, I got a couple guys that want to play. And I'm like, sure. So I show up. I didn't know who the other two were going to be, but it's John Kitna and Carson Palmer. And I'm late. And I stopped to get some funds out of the bank, and I think and they're eyeballing me on the range, and these guys want to play like real serious golf, and I'm like striping the ball on the range. So like, all right, let's play. So they picked this game Vegas, which is a terrible game. Anyways, it's needless to say, down halfway through at the turn, I was down more than I had taken out, and I look at Vrabel. He's like, dude, you're paying me. Just relax. And the rest of the round was enjoyable, but the whole thing was like a nightmare. These guys are good golfers.
Carson Palmer's contract was a pretty real one. There were some big contracts in there, buddy. When was the first time? Yeah. When was the first time has your son beat you?
Oh yeah, I haven't beat him in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a 4 handicap. It says 11, but I'm about a 16, I'd say. This is the year, though. This is the time of year. Every year, it's like, okay, putting, chipping. This is going to be the year that I'm going to break 80.
You always get jacked up when you see Augusta, and you're like, I can't wait to get the clubs out. And then you're reminded where we live, and you're like, it's going to be a minute before the courses are dry enough to have carts.
Yeah.
Hey, that was fun last time out, at the very least, right? I mean, that's what you want in front of the home crowd, is to kind of put on a good show, and they did last time out. What do you hope to see tonight with the Sabres in town?
Yeah, I'm still in the mode of bittersweet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, darn it. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel that way. Like, we're going to look back and think about everything this team's gone through this year, but we're still in that mode of they had it in their hands. Yes, of course, the wins are great. But now you look, and if Montreal has one win and the Blue Jackets have one, or if Montreal has one win, they're out. So once they get to 89, it's mathematically out. So, yeah, I was happy that they got the win, and I look at that win and I think maybe there was a little bit too much pressure on themselves as far as playing hockey just to make sure they got the 2 points and getting down in some games, realizing it's not going to, what do we got to do next? So it's good to see him play that free brand of hockey. You want to see Olivier get 20 goals. You want to see guys have a feel-good end to the season and enjoy their fans and enjoy the wins. That's what this is all about. But just hope that it translates into the lessons learned this year to translate into next year. And I know a lot was out of their control, the injuries, right?
Yeah.
But the injuries were real. The adversity at the beginning of the year, the not understanding what this whole landscape was going to look like with a tragedy will be unthinkable forever. But really proud of the group and good to see a healthy lineup and now some combinations that seem right. And I think that's important for the coaches. And I talked about it last week or earlier this week, where it's great to have everyone, but now where does everyone fit in? And that's a puzzle that it's taken a little bit of time to get to.
We got greedy, right? We wanted the outdoor game to matter, and then it did, and it was great. And then we're like, give us more. That's what we wanted, right? We just wanted more, and it was right there. And I'm with you. These are tough. I'm happy that they get the performances, but it's tough to watch because you say, God, you're right there.
Right, and because we're still in it, right? I mean, we're still in the season. There's 5 games left. We're going to go in and see Washington twice, and while Washington's going to come here, we're going to see them, and we're going to go to Philly. And you want those games. Because the fire. I guess you could see it from a fan's perspective, but when you walk in the locker room and the buzz and the focus and the conversation a couple weeks ago was, going to grab this thing. It was, boy, we got excited. So. That's the season. That's the NHL season. And you can look back to 2 or 3 losses now and be like, shoot. And there's a lot of teams in this area. there's a lot of teams that are going to be better here in the Metropolitan Division next year, and that's something else that Don Waddell is going to address.
Yeah,
and Washington did it best last season. Yeah. They were the last team to get in the playoffs, and they were the first team to clinch this year. And I think it's because they went out and addressed exactly what they were lacking. Mm-hmm. And I think that the Blue Jackets have to do that this summer.
Yeah, that's the task at hand. Yeah, the sobering reality of you're actually closer to last in points than you are to the last wild card right now. You're just 6 clear of Boston, and you're 8 clear of Montreal for the last wild card. So that's just, you talk about them being bunched up. They really are in that bottom part. Great talking to you as always, my friend. Look forward to the broadcast tonight. Thanks for your time, pal.
All right. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Bo. See you, buddy.
All right, there he goes. A little bit of Shelley time for you on a Thursday. We'll hit the mailbag coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan, it's always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Get ready to be back in the shoe. The Ohio State Buckeyes football spring game, presented by Union Home Mortgage, kicks off on Saturday, April 12th at noon in Ohio Stadium. Watch as Coach Day and the Buckeyes take the field for an action-packed game day atmosphere. Feel the thrill of game day-style reps and the excitement of cheering on our reigning champs. Find out how you can take a photo with a national championship trophy. Only available at BuckeyeExperiences.com. Join us for a celebration of Buckeye football and a preview of what's to come this fall. Tickets start at just $8 and are on sale now at OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. Moving up payday so you could get your money faster. Up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
New career opportunities near you. Uline is opening a new 1.4 million square foot distribution center in Etna, and they're looking for exceptional people to join their Ohio team. Interview for warehouse positions at their upcoming April hiring event. Warehouse workers earn pay starting from $25 an hour, with significant growth and earning potential. Plus, get full health benefits and a 401k match from day one. Sign up for your interview this April in Etna at uline.jobs. That's uline.jobs.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around your house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh. Especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. How do they do it? Well, Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money.
Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the buy 4, get 4 free, and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. One more time, that's buy 4, get 4 free from Window Nation, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
Evan Cohen here. Picture this. You arrive at your hotel. You have an important online meeting lined up with clients from all across the country. You have your laptop open. You're ready to begin. And the Wi-Fi is so terrible, you can't even connect. These types of stressful situations happen all the time, but they don't have to. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you have access to their free high-speed Wi-Fi. So you can take care of those critical emails, join your meetings on time, and even unwind streaming your favorite shows without having to worry. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The 89th Masters is underway at Augusta. It's early, but there's a four-way tie at the top. Zach Johnson and Chris Kirk are two of the four at 2 under. Scotty Scheffler's the defending champ and the favorite to win this weekend. He'll begin his first round in about 15 minutes. Scheffler's paired with Justin Thomas and Spanish amateur Jose Luis Ballester. Rory McIlroy goes around 112 this afternoon with Ludwig Oberg and Akshay Bhatia. In the NHL, the Blue Jackets are still alive for the final playoff spot in the East. Jackets are 8 points back of the Canadiens with 5 games left in the season. Columbus will host Buffalo tonight at 7. You can hear that game on The Fan with pregame coverage at 6:30. And Ohio State's spring game is this Saturday at noon. Ohio State's head coach Ryan Day is going to join Bo Bishop this morning around 11:30. This update is sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Thursday edition. 27 minutes from now, Paul Finebaum will join the program. An hour and 27 minutes from now, Ryan Day will join the program as well. It is a Thursday. It is 10 o'clock. Time to open up that mailbag. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. You got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
All right, let's kick it off with Mike. The subject is Gary Player, Masters. The subject, Bo, if you watched the starter ceremony, which I did, how about Gary Player, which I mentioned? He turns 90 in November. Amazing. Keep up the good work. Yeah, he's 89. He striped it. He kicked afterwards. And I think his whole operation is push-ups and sit-ups. I think that's the whole thing. Like, he just stretches and does that. I think that's it. Is the operation on how he stays as fit as he is. But yeah, 90 in November. And this is the beauty of golf. This is why I told last summer NBC beat me on 9 for the first time, and there will be much more of that coming. But this is the beauty. This is why I put golf clubs in the boys' hands when they were 2. Because while I suck, they're going to be able to play it with me and deal with my sucking for our entire lives. Like when we were on spring break this year, we were out in the desert, and we played golf every day. Like the 4 of us and my father-in-law, we played every day. Like, that's the beauty of that game, is that it's the communal part of it, and for us, it'll be the family part of it. And there's nothing else. I'm still playing hoops with them in the summer, but I'm one Achilles tear away, and I know it's coming. But that's the beauty of golf, boys.
And Gary Player is religious with his workout regimen, too, and I think he's super strict with his diet as well. That dude, what was it, 10 years ago? If that long ago, he was like on the cover of ESPN Fit magazine or whatever, their body issue. Or
the ESPN The Body, that's right.
It was ridiculous.
He's like 80. This one from Kenny. The subject is 2 and 4. Yes, I am absolutely with you. We've already seen and know what 2 and 4 are absolutely all about. No need to put them in harm's way in any way, shape, or form. I think I'm so far feeling that way with Jeremiah and Caleb that I want them being driven around Columbus in like the Pope Mobile. I just want full-time drivers. I want them in the bubble car, and I just want everywhere they go, they're in a Pope Mobile so that they can just stay healthy and untouched. I don't think you're going to see much of either one on Saturday, guys.
At least 1 or 2. Just heave it up there to Jeremiah and see what happens.
Okay, fine. I don't need to see 2 do anything.
No, 2 you can
just.
I think 2 you want to have out there just to have him run. No, I don't want 2 to field anything, but just have him roaming around the field. But absolutely, because I've got to come up with a new gimmick for football season. So instead of DeBomb, which we know is going to happen because Jeremiah Smith's almost automatic, it's give number 2 the ball on offense, like handoff to 2. I got to figure out how better to massage that gimmick. But yeah, give a handoff to Caleb Downs on Saturday.
So I'm a little different than you guys in this. I kind of want to see Julian and Lincoln try to throw a past Caleb Downs. Like, I want to see them play against the best. Like, I would rather see them throw against Caleb Downs than throwing to Jeremiah Smith, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, I just don't care to see it. I understand, like, I'm greedy and so you want to, but I just, nobody in harm's way. We did have one from the corrections department, David, with this. The flag on the logo of all Masters jackets is red, members and champions. I guess what I misspoke is, you're right, the actual flag on the logo, the United States in the Masters tournament winner jackets, that logo is yellow. The Masters, the Augusta National Members United States is green. But the actual flag kind of showing you where Augusta is on the map of the United States, which is the logo, that is red on both. It's just yellow for the winners, and it's green for the members. In fact, like on Masters Week, you can't buy Augusta National branded gear for the patrons can't.
I was looking in one of the breaks at what they had on eBay, and I mean, stuff's in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah, my buddies who have gone say that they don't even have prices on the stuff. It's just it's on a wall. It's a number. You say, I want that in this size, and it is what it is. Now, I don't think their markup's crazy, but I mean, the stuff in there also isn't cheap. So I just think, like, my hunch is like the average like sale in there is probably like $600.
Is this like Jody? Just head to the course and hope you have enough cash?
That's right. That's right. Speaking of the Masters, Nate ordered the food. Here's his review. I asked him for his review. He said it's undefeated. Big fan of Ritz crackers with egg salad and pimento cheese. Had that last night. Chasing it with a cookie, bag of pecan caramel corn, and glass of milk. Had an egg salad sandwich for breakfast. Just made myself a pimento cheese sandwich. Pulled pork is up next. God love. He's living his best life. That's great.
See, the pimento on cracker sounds better than the pimento on just soggy white bread.
That's how we always ate it. Was in this when I lived in the South. It was with crackers, not a pimento sandwich. Actually, I'm going to jump ahead because I actually had one. Okay, yeah, it was Jay. Jay weighed in on the pimento. I just had a pimento cheese sandwich on spring break from Publix in Florida. It's hands down the best grocery store sandwich in the United States. We have lauded Publix for years on this show. It is the best sub bar that you're going to find. I think it's the bread. I don't know what it is, but that just is. Their sub sandwiches are the best. I have not had a pimento cheese from there. That's not the place I'm thinking of, but I'm sure they do it well.
I can't wait for July now just to get a sandwich at Publix.
I can't believe you haven't. I mean, I have two variations. I do the turkey one there. I'll do the turkey with lettuce and onion and kind of like Mike's way, kind of if you like Jersey Mike's. The other one I would do is the roast beef with the oil and vinegar. I would do onion, tomato, and I think and maybe a little bit of mayo, but that's a home run. Their subs are great. I think it's the bread. This one from Bill. The subject is Ohio State basketball. Ohio State basketball is in serious long-term failure mode. The football program umbrella is just too large over the entire campus and holding other sports and activities captive to its power and popularity, just the way it is in Columbus. Diebler references wanting guys who want to be Buckeyes and honor that tradition have toughed us. They simply want paid big time to play here. Tradition and the glitter and the sparkle of playing at Ohio State is long gone. The upper echelon have no interest in playing second fiddle to the football stars. Diebler knows this. You won't hear it, though. He's here with because his salary is low. I don't think that's entirely true, me parenthetically. Should be 18 schools in the Big Ten, too, with 5 or 6 excellent basketball programs. It doesn't help either. Last in the conference next year is quite probable. I don't think last in the conference is not happening. That's just not happening. That it's not. You're not going to be last in the conference with everybody they have returning. Does make some valid points. I just think the big overarching thing I have with basketball is, can you, and we have a story coming up here, and we have some more of your emails in terms of someone in the portal from Ohio State landing in, I think, kind of a surprising spot, and it's something that ought to be a bit of a red flag going forward. But I think that when you have 36 sports, can you really be great at all of them? And I do think there is some of that as NIL gets more and more important. That part, I think, is going to be very tricky, and how to build this is going to be very tricky around here. Go ahead, Beck.
And maybe this is true with basketball because it's the second biggest sport, and you need to have some of the NIL money, but the hockey programs have been doing pretty good. The lacrosse program, the tennis programs are all doing good, so there's room for more.
Here's what I don't know, though. And this would be a question for, I don't even know who this would be a question to ask. Because all of those sports have NIL, too. So if you spread that NIL out to those sports to make them viable, are you cutting off what would have otherwise gone to revenue generating? Those are the decisions that they're going to have to make. I don't even know who to ask that. I don't know if that's a Ross question or if that's somebody running a collective question. I don't know who that is. Nick said roughly 10 years ago a polo there was $75. I don't know that you can buy a polo anywhere for less than that now. So I imagine they're all around 100. It seems like where we're at on that side of things at Augusta National. We have some more of your emails to get to, some really good ones here. I also have some breaking news on a Buckeye basketball player in the portal and a surprising landing spot. We get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
This is big. Rent-A-Center's biggest discount is on. From April 6th to April 12th, take 50% off the total cost to own on all items in-store or online. Only at Rent-A-Center. 50% off offer reduces the total amount necessary to acquire ownership pursuant to rental purchase agreement. Offer valid on new agreements entered into April 6, 2025 through April 12, 2025. Participating locations only.
Yeah, boss asked us to get the Ohio Lottery kiosks ready for the new $20 scratch-off, $2 million extreme cash. With $38 million in total prizes, we had to go big. We had cup holders, monster truck tires, even installed air horns in case somebody reveals the extreme symbol and wins every prize on the scratch-off. Boss thinks the light show's a bit much, but gotta celebrate $2 million top prize winners somehow. So yeah, play $2 million extreme cash from the Ohio Lottery. And if you can tell my boss I did a good job, that'd be cool too. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Drying out as we head into the afternoon. 40s turn to 50s later today. Another quick burst of rain possible later today into tonight, but most stay dry. Mostly dry Friday, mostly cloudy and near 50. We'll be up into the mid-50s on Saturday and into the 60s by Sunday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
So this is a little... It's a little surprising. Billy Embody, who we've had on the SMU side of things for On 3, also covers Ole Miss recruiting for On 3. And 20 minutes ago with this report, highly touted Ohio State transfer forward Cody McMahon has committed to Ole Miss. Ole Miss? Two-time all-conference, all-American player at Ohio State go to Ole Miss? What's the real truth here? How's this happen? Go to LSU, fine, I get it.
TCU,
go to South Carolina,
even.
fine. Texas, TCU, fine. Ole Miss?
She's apparently the fourth player that the Rebels have landed out of the transfer portal in this cycle, and the other three were double-digit scores at their respective schools. Looks like out of UCF, Caitlin Peterson, 21.5 points per game. Latasha Lattimore from Virginia, 14 points a game. Jayla Murray from Wichita State, 12.5 points per game. And then McMahon, 16.5 last season. Just 2 years at Ohio State is alarming, to say the least.
This is the conversation we were just having at the end of the last one. Like, this is the SEC, they are organized on what they're prioritizing. It's football, it's men's basketball, it's women's basketball, it's softball, and it's baseball. That's what they're prioritizing. And so, I mean, that's how you had 14 SEC teams in the men's tournament. I have no many how many were in the women's. But if Ole Miss is doing this, they're saying, why not us? And their boosters are locking them up. But this is pretty crazy. Like, if this were the other way, if this were, I guess it would be Bruce Thornton would be the men's equivalent of Cody McMahon. Probably. Like, be pretty disillusioned if he ended up at Ole Miss. Now, I don't have any clue what happened behind the scenes or the relationship. I have no idea on that. But that is it's just a wild location to me to end up at, to leave Ohio State and go to Ole Miss. Those two things are not the same.
Yeah, I also think, Bo, as you mentioned, that goes to say there was something here behind the scenes that was going on with Cody McMahon or something that she didn't like that caused her to leave. And obviously Ole Miss, they're making a push here for women's basketball, it seems like. I am a little disappointed, though, because I would have loved to seen Cody's fiery personality mesh with Kim Mulkey. I think that's a reality show waiting to happen if those two were together.
Yeah, if she's going to leave, that would have been the one that, you could have wrapped your head around. A couple more emails to get through. This one from Scott. The subject is goaltending. Check out the NHL.com top 40, more than number of teams in the league, and goalie stats. You won't find Elvis or any Blue Jackets goalie in the top 40. Time to spend money on goaltending, not all on defense. Who's out there, Bake? Goaltender, like free agent goalie is usually not waters you want to swim in.
Yeah, I don't think that there are a lot here that maybe you would think would come in and turn things around. I think the one that's always out there, that's been out there for the past couple of years, is John Gibson, who has been on an Anaheim team that has been struggling. He's a little older, not the greatest contract, but John Gibson, I think, is the one, and you would probably have to pull a trade for him because he's not a free agent. But I think that's the one that's out there, right? Could the Jackets make some kind of deal, trade contract for contract, and maybe the Jackets give them some kind of prospect or pick to possibly – that's the name that always comes up, though. Just remember, though, too, Jet Greaves, who maybe has been the most consistent Blue Jackets goalie the past couple of years, is on a one-way deal next year.
Yeah, right.
So he's getting his NHL salary regardless of where he's playing. You have to think Jet Greaves is here for the full year next season.
Yeah, you certainly would. This one from Bob, the subject, Coyote discussion this morning. He writes, my tennis buddy Stan is a professor at Ohio State who studies urban carnivores. He's a total expert on coyotes, and some of your observations this morning are consistent with what he's told us about them, and some are inconsistent. You could probably get him on your show for a segment and educate your listeners. He has good stories. Yes. Bob, I want Stan on the show. I want to talk urban carnivores with Stan.
But like other urban, like cool urban carnivores, like because coyote's not that cool.
Well, maybe they are.
Yeah.
Maybe they're misunderstood.
There was a video, I forget which morning show I was watching, of like a cat in Los Angeles scaring off a coyote as it went to check up on the cat just resting on a bench in the front of a house. Like a doorway camera caught it, and the cat just stands up and like swipes a paw, and the coyote runs away. And I'm like, all right, that's not interesting.
That's my experience with them.
Yeah.
But according to Bob, some of my storytelling on the coyotes was inaccurate, and his buddy Stan is a professor at Ohio State, and maybe Stan can help us. So I would love to do a once a month urban carnivore segment with Stan. I'm in.
Bo, I forgot about this yesterday, this experience I had just a few months ago. Have you ever seen a coyote run, or have you just seen them standing?
I'm not particularly proud of this, but it's very possible that in my youth, on the back of a snowmobile, I chased one.
Oh, well, beautiful.
So, yeah, I've seen them at their best. They can fly. I
have some friends that live in West Milton, Ohio, which is out near Troy, kind of close to the Indiana border. And I'll go out there from time to time on the weekends and hang out. And it's usually around a UFC fight. So I'll be driving home late at night. It's 1:30 in the morning. I was driving the back roads to hit 75 to head home. And I had my brights on because there was no one around. I saw, and this took maybe like a span of 2 seconds, to my left, I saw this blur, and then all of a sudden this coyote shot across the road, probably 20, 30 feet in front of me, and he was gone into the darkness in a blink of an eye. I mean, I couldn't believe, you've always heard how fast they are, and I've seen coyotes, but I've never seen them moving. Yeah. I couldn't believe how it was just a blur.
Yeah, they fly. They can pick them up and put them down. This one from TK. The subject is Bill Raftery. It's Raftery, not Rafferty. he's right, but it's probably also, I don't know that anyone says it that way. It's almost everybody says Bill Rafferty, not Raftery.
Really?
It's like it's just known. It's known the other way, which is probably wrong. It's probably just something like, what's the bother now? I'm 81.
Have you been saying Rafferty?
No, I've been saying Raftery.
Yeah.
But I think it's Rafferty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been Raftery.
Yeah. I think everybody always says it that way. This one from Cindy. The subject is ice cream. She writes, what was the brand of ice cream available only at Meijer that you like? That is Hudsonville ice cream is the brand. The greatest variety of that they ever did was a Bananas Foster, which is, if you like banana dessert, it's perfect. But Bake, you got into this. You picked up a couple of half gallons, right?
I did, and I still have not tried the cookies and cream yet, which is my favorite ice cream flavor of all time. But I can tell you that triple peanut butter chip is pretty damn good.
It's unbelievable, and it's really cheap.
Yeah, I don't even think
a couple bucks.
And I think Meijer had some kind of deal. It wasn't even $3 for. I think it was $2.99 for each.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it. I don't find myself by a Meijer very often, but every time I do, I drop by and just see if by chance they have any of the Bananas Foster in there. At last they had not. Remember, I lost the whole fleet of it with the freezer that malfunctioned in the garage. So I bought like 4 cartons of it, and they all went bad because they all melted because of the freezer in the garage went kaput. This one from Shannon. Kobe and High Bank Bourbon. Sounds like a win. She greetings, Uncle Bo. Though we are probably close in age and more like cousins, you're right to surmise that your wife would not like Eastbound and Down. Because I agree with your opinions on many TV shows, past and present, I decided to tune in to Eastbound and Down. I lasted 2 to 3 episodes. The main character is just too loud and obnoxious. Yeah, he is. I've been meaning to write about a documentary you and your kids may be interested in watching. At least the oldest. CNN has a 3-part series on Kobe Bryant I found quite interesting and not leaning in any way for or against Kobe. It starts with his days living in Italy, falling in love with the game, high school, NBA, his Black Cobra persona, his Colorado lawsuit, his passing, the lawsuit coverage, and story details are a portion of the show that may be inappropriate for kids. You may find the series streaming on the CNN app. Also writes, I forgot about this. It's my fault, Shannon. I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get with Evan here at the Fan, the great, and our good folks at High Bank. She wants a bottle of the High Bank bourbon. So, Shannon, I'm going to do what I can to get that done because she's got a special birthday coming up. So we'll see what we can do on that side of things and get it to the great folks at High Bank, and they'll probably take care of you.
I know when Danny McBride was writing Eastbound and Down, he wrote the Kenny Powers character to be, and I'll paraphrase, the worst person ever. Like, he's been on record saying that he wanted Kenny Powers to be the absolute most terrible person in the history of the world.
Well, I think Jesse Gemstone is right there.
Yes.
I mean, it's not far off.
Not far off. There's well,
Bo, on the subject of the High Bank Bourbon, one of the best parts of going and covering the high school tournaments is hanging out with all the broadcasters in the hotel lobby or the bar afterwards. And I took the bottle of High Bank Bourbon with me so some of the fellas could sample it, and everybody, high marks. High marks for it.
It's great. I got to make sure that Shannon get hands on some of those. All right, Paul Finebaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Bring more fresh to Easter with great deals at Meijer. Savory Meijer's Spiral Sliced Half Ham is 79 cents a pound with M-Perks Limit 1. Discount automatically applied once you enter your M-Perks ID. Del Monte canned vegetables are $1 each. And a 5-pound bag of yellow or red potatoes is only $4.99. Decorate your home and table with Easter decor. And make Easter a good deal sweeter for your little peeps with toys, candy, and more. Hop into Meijer, where Easter is a good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, Paul, we saw an SE team cut down the nets on the men's side of the Final Four with the University of Florida getting it done. Todd Golden, the second youngest coach to ever do it. Florida becoming the first athletic department with 3 national championships in football and men's basketball. All of it's new, though. Like, they didn't make a tournament until the mid to late 80s. The football stuff, I mean, there obviously is a history there with Steve Spurrier as a player and Emmitt Smith and all of that, but it really was Spurrier as a coach that put them at this elite level, and that they have hits and misses through the last 30 years or so. There's not consistent greatness, but when they're great, they kind of win it all. You've had a front row seat to all of the things that have happened at that athletic department in the last 25, 30 years. What do you make of that?
It is a bizarre athletic department, Bo, because of the gaps. There have been so many long runs where they did nothing. Football in the 80s, in the 60s, they were good with Spurrier. They were good in the 80s, but that all got wiped out because of NCAA probation. And basketball is an enigma because they went to the Final Four in the 90s with Lon Kruger. And then Billy Donovan put them in a back-to-back situation. He went to 3 overall, but they didn't fire Mike White, but he knew he had to go because he wasn't getting to the Final Four. And Todd Golden was a shot in the dark. I mean, this guy was a complete unknown. He had been an assistant under Bruce Pearl, and I don't think anyone can quite believe it, even though because Florida was not even on the radar in October when the SEC preseason came out.
No, unranked, right? In the top 25, all of that stuff. It was just an incredible run. And then also just kind of an example of where we are in college athletics when you think of the portal stuff that happened there. We had an interesting portal thing happen today. Cody McMahon, an All-American women's basketball player here for the last couple of years, jumped in the portal a couple of weeks ago, and we said, okay, well, I get it. Like maybe you want to play at LSU or you want to play at Texas or South Carolina, one of the preeminent programs. Paul, and I don't expect you to be all locked in on all this stuff, although it wouldn't surprise me if you were. She signed with Ole Miss about a half hour ago, which begs the question, what is happening in these SEC schools? Because obviously this would be NIL would be a huge part of this, where somehow Ole Miss is outspending Ohio State in women's basketball?
Well, what's interesting is, and I've gotten to know the women's coach there, Coach Yo, they have been on the precipice of the Final Four for 3 or 4 straight years. So I'm not surprised. Ole Miss has had one of the strongest collectives in the industry, as you saw last year when they went out and probably had the best portal class and completely underperformed by not getting to the playoffs. But they're extremely good in basketball too. The men's program has Chris Beard, who was the number one, went to the championship game 7 or 8 years ago at Texas Tech, and then got fired at Texas as the number 1 team in the country for domestic violence allegations. By the way, that's way more than your audience wanted to know. But my point is that they've got it going there, so it's not a surprise inside the SEC Beltway.
Yeah, really something. When we had this, it's interesting. We talked a little bit about Kirby's comments last week, and anytime one of these coaches kind of gets in front of a microphone, they can't wait to talk about and are asked. I mean, to be fair, they are asked about the various problems in the various sports. And we just got through 2 tournaments where there's a portal going on as we were crowning national champions in men's and women's basketball. But when you talk to the powerful people around the sport, my hunch is you've had a chance to do that over the last couple of weeks. What were they hoping would come out of the April 7th House settlement, and do they think that whatever comes of it will stick?
Well, number one, I did have a 30-minute conversation on air last Friday with Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, and he was locked in. I mean, even though he was going back and forth between the women and men's Final Four with 2 teams playing in the finals, mostly he talked about, after he got through giving us his travel schedule, he talked about ADs and commissioners love to tell you where they've been. He talked about what was going to happen on Monday, and everyone knew that the decision would not be made. That came as no surprise. A lot of reporters wasted good money hanging out all day in San Francisco. But what he was most interested in, Bo, was what happened yesterday in Washington, D.C., when all of the Power Four commissioners and really many, many coaches and ADs visited Capitol Hill, probably picking a bad day to do it, considering that the biggest story of the day was the stock market and the tariffs, and I doubt anyone really cared who else was there. But they did their deal, and Sankey beat the drum as loudly as I have ever heard for Congress needing to get involved. And Bo, as much respect as I have for him, and Petiti and these others, I don't think anyone was really listening, nor do I think anybody on Capitol Hill really cared.
Why do they keep playing that same record, Paul, with Congress saving them? They've wanted Congress to save them for a decade, and they never do. Nothing ever comes of it. Why would it be different now?
Well, what they're hoping for, and this is really deeply into the political weeds, is Congress is all one color right now, red. And I think they're hoping to get the attention of the president, who so far has not shown much interest in getting involved in this issue because, frankly, there are just too many other issues. And on the other side of that, and I've got conflicting stories, and this is really deep into the political weed, but Charlie Baker is not on Donald Trump's good side right now. Trump went against him when he ran for governor. There have been a lot of back and forth, and that may be the biggest negative. And even though this is more the Big Ten, SEC, and other leagues, but the NCAA is still involved. And quite frankly, I think Charlie Baker at this moment in time is the wrong person to be the president.
Boy, that's not good. You're not going to get anything done with that situation at all. Paul, when you had that conversation with Sankey, if you were to hook him up to give him some truth serum or a lie detector, truth serum would be preferable here. What do you think he would want it to look like? What's ideal at this point?
Well, he wants as much distance between his conference, the Big Ten, and the NCAA as humanly possible. He said that again on Friday. That is a new theme, as you know. They just want daylight. They don't want anything to do with the NCAA other than to collect the NCAA basketball money. They're talking about their own enforcement route, their own policy route, but unfortunately they're still stuck. And we still view it as the NCAA, even though the interest and the importance of it has fallen. But I don't think they really have a good path. What's going to be interesting in the next 4 to 6 weeks is we are moving slowly into the conference, the conference meetings part of the schedule, where you'll get all the conferences meeting. You'll get the deal out in Arizona where everybody in the Big Ten shows up for the Fiesta Bowl and all these things, and so you'll start to get a little bit more of a feeling. But I don't think if we're talking on June 1st, anything is going to change.
You got spring football going on throughout the country. We got our spring game up here in a couple of days on Saturday. What are some stories that are emerging, if any, from spring? A lot of quarterback duels out there. What are some things you're hearing around the SEC schools in regard to spring football, and maybe some storylines that are starting to develop?
From a treetop standpoint, it has been the least interesting spring I can ever remember. Some of it is because of the coaches just doing away with the games or changing the direction of it. Secondly, I think at least in the South, is basketball really was a preeminent conversation. But as far as the stories, I think Georgia remains probably the most interesting story. What are they doing down there? Kirby Smart is sending some very strange signals about his unhappiness with his team. I think he's just trying to light a fire. He will be someplace other than number one in the polls for the first time in about 4 or 5 years. There are questions at quarterback. Beyond that, I think Alabama is another place. Do they have the right quarterback with Ty Simpson? You're also hearing the cleanup on aisle 3 by Kalen DeBoer saying to anyone who will listen, we had to retain the roster last year, even though we did a lousy job of that, losing 3 key players to Ohio State,
that's right,
as you well know, and elsewhere. And he said we were in retention. We're going to start cracking down. By the way, Bo, nobody cracks down in year 2. That's what you do on day 1. So I think that's a negative vibe. And other than that, the most interesting story yesterday was Jackson Arnold, who was once a 5-star quarterback who went to Oklahoma and bombed out. He announced yesterday that he is skipping the Manning Passing Academy, which is like saying it to like a golfer saying, I'm skipping Augusta because I want to spend more time with my family. And the reason he gave is he wants to spend more time with his receivers. The Manning Academy is June 26th in Thibodaux, Louisiana. You would think between now and June and then after July 1st, between the beginning of camp, he would have time to play catch with his receivers. He obviously doesn't want to go because he's no good.
Yeah, pretty easy to interpret that. I'll get you out of here on this one. Have you ever been to Augusta to play or to spectate?
I covered it, though, for about 20 years. And the next time we talk, I'll tell you my famous story about how I turned down an opportunity to play there. It's
okay, great.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever done. But I will tease it when we're out of topics. I will get that, and everybody in the audience will say to themselves, Paul Finebaum might be the biggest dumbass I've ever heard for not going to Augusta to play golf.
And we will save that audio right there. I'm sure our audience will love it forever. So thank you, sir, as always. Good to talk to you. We'll do it again next week.
A pleasure. Thanks, Bo.
All right, there he is, Paul Finebaum, the Paul Finebaum Show on ESPN, the SEC Network, on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. He was some Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's Sponsored Jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. You could get paid up to 2 days faster and there's no cost. So stop playing the waiting game. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get mulch ready for the season. Now through April 5th, get 5 bags of red, black, or brown mulch for just $10.95. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your yard with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Feeling unsure about preparing your roof for spring storms? Newman Roofing is here for you. For over 30 years, we've helped homeowners understand their roof's condition so they can make the best decision for their home. Stop worrying and call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit NewmanRoofing.com today. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
The Buckeye Show.
Jeremiah Smith, he should probably be on the cover of EA Sports.
Absolutely.
Like 100% probably will be on the cover. There's no curse for that, is there?
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, guys.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
Nikola Jokic recorded his 33rd triple-double with 20 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and 4 steals last night as the Nuggets beat the Kings 124-116. Jokic was seen drawing up plays in the huddle and acting as another coach after Denver fired Mike Malone Tuesday. After the game, Jokic spoke on the news, quote, "I knew a little bit before everybody, and he," meaning the owner of the Denver Nuggets, "told me we made a decision. So it was not a discussion, it was a decision. He told me why, and so I listened and I accepted it. I'm not going to tell you what he told me. I'm going to keep that private." He also said after the game, quote, "People said we are vulnerable, but the beast is always the most dangerous when they are vulnerable. Maybe he woke up the beast," end quote. Thing or not a thing?
I don't know. I don't know how to even translate that.
Woke up the beast.
Here's what I'd say. Is Jokic kind of the give me another superstar who seems to be and kind of universally regarded as the best player on the planet for like the last 4 or 5 years. Give me another someone who fits that, checks those boxes, who also seems completely disinterested in any of it. Like when they won the title, he just wanted to go back to his horses. They're just like Koepka has that a little bit. Like Koepka, when he wins a major, it's like he's disinterested in even doing it. There aren't many examples I can think of, though, of folks who are just really good at something and seem to have very little interest in actually doing it.
I think this whole situation with the Nuggets is really fascinating, and this could go one of two ways. This could really be good for them. It could encourage the other players, and it could fire up Nikola Jokic, and they could really go on a run, or this could end really, really badly. I think this whole situation is super fascinating.
I don't think Jokic, I guess that's kind of my point. I don't know if he's fire-upable. I think he just dominates, just kind of goes out and dominates because this is what I get paid to do, so I'll do it. But it's like, this is my job, I'll dominate. But he seems pretty level, always.
I mean, he's got the second best odds to win the MVP this season.
Yeah.
Like, Shea's probably going to win it, player for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But, yeah, Jokic is alone in that regard. of where he's one of the best, if not the best at what he does, and what he does isn't exactly what he loves to do.
Seems like it. Seems like he likes to have a beer and hang out with his horses, and it's wild.
Yeah, right now the Nuggets are in that 4 spot in the West. Looks like the Thunder, Rockets, and Lakers have all of theirs wrapped up 1, 2, and 3 respectively. But Nuggets, Clippers, Grizzlies, Warriors, and Timberwolves are all kind of jockeying in the last week for what would be the playoff spots as opposed to those play-in positions. On Tuesday, Yankees outfielder Cody Bellinger was scratched from a game in Detroit against the Tigers for food poisoning. Bellinger told reporters Wednesday he had an adverse reaction to chicken wings eating at the team's hotel in Detroit Monday night, adding, "I will not eat wings for 5 years." Bellinger went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times in the Yankees' 4-3 loss on Wednesday. Thing or not a thing?
Food poisoning from chicken wings. I don't know that I buy that. I mean, have you ever had a not cooked thoroughly chicken wing? I mean, how do they even? I don't even see I've never seen a scenario even on the verge of chicken wings going bad. I don't know that I buy it. So it was at the team's hotel too, so maybe it was an inside job.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like if this would have been in New York, the chicken wings would have been fine, but they're in Detroit. There's a little funny business. Someone pulled the fire alarm at the hotel, Bo.
Could be. I've never had. My wife had food poisoning about a month ago. That was a real treat.
You were looking for a new wife, you thought?
Yeah, I thought perhaps. Yeah, thought it was in play. I just always, you got to keep your head on a swivel in that regard, guys. In case you lose one, you got to have one ready. That's always got to be the
pair and a spare.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, always have one ready.
NFL insider Ian Rappaport joined the Pat McAfee show earlier in the week and had this to say about Aaron Rodgers.
I would say the Vikings are as out as they could be right now. Like, if Aaron is not signed by, August and something terrible happens to either the Vikings or someone else, he would be the top guy available by a lot. I think Ryan Tannehill was in this situation last year. Tannehill ended up not signing, and kind of that's where it stays.
Wow.
I would be very surprised if Rodgers waited till after the draft. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't the Steelers if he plays. What I have not 100% been able to nail down is he absolutely, definitely playing? And I think that's why this conversation is sort of still ongoing. Plus, as you guys know, unless I am inside, and Kyle Brandt actually asked me a great question on Good Morning Football, was like, how do you report on Aaron Rodgers? Because his circle is so tight. And it's like, you do it by sticking to what you absolutely know. And so, what I think about Rodgers, what he's doing, isn't really as meaningful as what I know. And what I know is he had a good visit to the Steelers. And what I know is that he has not signed yet. That's basically it.
He did not make an appearance last night at PPJ Paints Arena for Pat McAfee's big night at. Thing or not a thing?
You know what's the most thing about this? Because he really doesn't. Rappaport really doesn't say anything here. Pat McAfee interviewing Ian Rappaport about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. On the short list of people who ought to know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, I think would be Pat McAfee. Certainly A.J. Hawk. They're on the shortest of lists. Wasting time acting like Rappaport is more in the know than they are. McAfee could just say, if he's going to play, it's going to be in Pittsburgh. That's what we think. That's where he's at. He can just tell the real truth on it pretty easily. It's the idea of asking somebody else what Aaron Rodgers is going to do while you probably know what he's going to do. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that he says, as you guys know, his circle is small to a couple of people who are in that small circle. It's very funny, but this is not a thing because it's nothing, right? He says it at the end. Until you hear something from Aaron, that's when you'll know. Or you hear something from the Steelers or the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are interested in this at all, quite frankly, to me. I mean, I think they really believe in J.J. McCarthy. I think that's why they let Sam Darnold walk, right? And sign that big deal with Seattle. So it sure seems like, and it has for a while, nothing's changed. It's Pittsburgh or bust here if he plays this year.
There really isn't even another landing spot. And I think, I don't see a scenario where he does like Tannehill or Flacco and just waits until there's an injury and hope that's better. I still think he probably believes he can play at a high level. Pittsburgh's a pretty soft landing spot if you want to. There's really isn't anywhere else to go at this point.
And if he were to go to a team he'd have to go to camp with them, and if they want to have remotely any success at all.
Yeah,
like it would be baffling if he just like if he did the Flacco thing and hopped off the couch and led a team to the playoffs. Like, yeah, that wouldn't be the way to go. Real quick, 11 Warriors confirmed reporting that Ohio State men's basketball team withdrew from the 2025 Battle for Atlantis tournament in the Bahamas. Ohio State's apparently going to look for other tournaments to help boost its early season resume, funding, and NIL efforts. Ohio State was scheduled to appear in the Battle for Atlantis back in 2020, but that was canceled due to COVID. Ohio State, outside of that, has never done this tournament. Thing or not a thing?
Not a thing. It's a no-brainer when you see the teams that are in it. Like, this is not a who's who from a basketball perspective. And so my hunch is they're just looking for a little bit more A-level competition. It's Virginia Tech. I mean, there's no blue bloods in the mix. So I tell you who it's a thing for is probably Matty Andrews, because he got a trip to the Bahamas.
I was talking to Jacob Reimer last night about this, and you heard Reese say there some other tournaments they might be looking into. Reimer said something about there's a tournament that's going to be all for NIL coming up next year, and maybe the Buckeyes might have been interested in that. So, yeah, not much of a thing other than you don't get to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah. All right, 11:30, Ryan Day joins the program. We hit a little higher or lower coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
And today, Pella's excited to announce our 100-year anniversary.
Cut! Leslie, you accidentally said 100 years.
Not an accident, Wilson.
What?
When you do the windows that look the best, you tend to stick around for a while.
I can't compete with that. Buy from her.
Get the windows that have been around for 100 years. The windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus. At PellaColumbus.com.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
Common Man here of Spring Cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading. This is the month to do it. Freshen your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. If you buy 4, you pay for 2. If you need 12, you pay for 6. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
We're catching up with that famous deep-sea explorer, Jacques Black-Jacques. Jacques, where are you today? You're in Columbus. What could you possibly be exploring in Columbus?
The April showers bring flooding to Batmans.
Oh, I see. Spring rains mean basements are flooding.
This not necessary. Apex Pros.
Not necessary. Call Apex Pros.
A simple zoom pump chick.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding this. Zoom pump
chick.
Sump pump check. Are you saying sump pump check?
Oui.
Yes, of course. A sump pump check from the pros who knows at Apex Pros.
They come to your house.
They come to your house.
They test your Zoom pump.
They test your, what is it again?
Zoom pump.
Sump pump, right.
All with a 5-star guarantee.
All with a 5-star guarantee. Now, see, I understood that perfectly.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax, and not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Joaquin Neiman and Aaron Ray share the lead at 3 under as the first round of the Masters rolls along at Augusta. Defending champion Scotty Scheffler is 1 under through 2. Phil Mickelson, Jason Day, and Justin Thomas are all at even par. On the ice tonight at Nationwide, the Blue Jackets host the Sabres at 7. You can hear that game on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. In college hoops, former Ohio State forward Cody McMahon is committed to Ole Miss. McMahon entered the transfer portal after 2 seasons in Columbus. The basketball portal is open through April 22nd. The football spring portal window opens next Wednesday. Ohio State will have wrapped up spring football as well as the spring game. That goes down Saturday at Ohio Stadium. Head coach Ryan Day will join Bo Bishop in about 30 minutes. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $200 cash bonus with a home equity line of credit from BMI FCU. Visit bmifcu.org/home equity. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
Round 1 of the Masters underway down at Augusta National. Your leaders, Joaquin Neiman is at 3 early on, and then Aaron Ray is also 3 under. His first time ever playing at Augusta, so he's 3 under as well. Scotty Scheffler has birdied his second, so he's in the mix, and that's where you stand on that side of things. Is that guy from Memphis going to do the song again? That radio?
Every year he does the Masters update. Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder, does he keep doing it? It was such a home run the first year. Then he brought, I think he's 3 or maybe 4 years into it. But Joaquin Neiman, that's the rap he does with that is pretty very good. Tony Finau, how it be now? That's pretty good. I'm wondering if he's going to run it back today.
It's the Chris Vernon show.
Yeah.
So I think later this afternoon is you'll find that answer out.
Yeah, that's tough to keep trying to do that and one-up it every year.
Because you got to make it better every year. You can't just do Tony Finau, where is he now?
And
have that role. It's great the first time.
Yeah. Can you make it better? It was so good the first time. I wonder. That's tough act to follow. All right, time for a little higher, lower. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222 or visit online at thewaterworks.com.
Of course, you all know what that sound is.
No, I don't.
This is the UFL on ESPN.
Oh,
let's
baby.
get it, Reese.
As we go into week 3 of the UFL season, Higher or Lower is going to give us Fox Sports UFL Power Rankings.
Oh, my God.
And I use this theme because Fox Sports tries to make the NFL music part of the UFL experience. And let me tell you something, brother, it does not work. So I got this. It's the best, second best case scenario. At 1 on the Fox Sports. So this is, I think RJ Young actually does this. He's big into college football and the college recruiting rankings.
All right.
But he's power ranked the teams in the United Football League.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't.
Come on.
If you were to give me a big stack of cash and said, you can have this big stack of cash, like the storage scene in Breaking Bad. You can have that whole thing full of cash. But all you have to do is name 4 UFL teams. I'm quite certain I would fail. Bake, without looking, how many could you nail?
Oh, man. I know we've got the the San Antonio Brahmas.
That's one.
That's a great one.
Is it the St. Louis Battlehawks?
That's 2.
Let's go. The
San
Arlington
Antonio
Renegades?
That's 3.
Oh, come on. You don't know the You're cheating now.
I'm not cheating now.
Arlington Renegades. Give me a break. It seems made up. What are you talking about? Arlington Renegades. You, sir, are a liar and a cheat.
I think I'm out now. Those are the only ones I've got.
Well, at number 1 on this power ranking is the St. Louis Battlehawks at 2-0 on the season.
The Fighting A.J. McCarrons, right?
They crushed the San Antonio Brahmas 26-9 on Sunday in a game that dozens around the country viewed. At number 2, the D.C. Defenders, also 2-0 on the season.
I should have got that. Isn't that where Cardell Jones played for a season?
He played there for a little bit, yeah. But this was, I think, he played there before the pandemic, too, because that was the XFL.
All right, pause just for a second. Do you two know what a Brahma is?
Yeah, for The Rock.
Yeah,
it's a bull.
we grew up on 90s WWE. It was the Brahma Bull.
Yeah, that's why they're named the Brahmas, is after The Rock.
Or after the actual bull that is used in rodeo, which is also a Brahma.
Yeah, so that's where The Rock got it from. But I think this is more in homage to The Rock being the CEO or whatever of this thing.
No more disrespect to Dwayne Johnson. This is after him.
At number 3, the
Hold
Arlington.
on, I don't really care about these rankings.
What do you mean?
The Houston Roughnecks. Is Houston Roughnecks better than Houston Texans?
Yes.
Might be.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, just swap.
I had wondered how long I was going to be able to get away with that doing UFL power rankings. I think that was
actually better than we thought it was going to go, right?
I thought maybe we'd eject a little bit earlier, so I did find USA Today.
Well, hold on now. Now I'm interested in this.
I knew you would be.
What?
Oh, you're interested in the UFL?
Yeah.
Oh, my backup I thought was better.
I'm not interested in the sport. I'm interested in the branding of this. So some of these are old USFL teams, right?
Like some are XFL teams and some are new. Yes, it's all 3 merged. Yep.
I think was a USFL team. I think the Michigan Panthers were a USFL team.
I believe that's correct.
In the way back. Birmingham Stallions. Birmingham was really good when they had the XFL too, first time around.
Wasn't the Michigan Panthers, aren't they the ones that took oh my goodness, the quarterback, he was a big-time recruit for Ole Miss and then transferred to Michigan, I believe, or vice versa, went to Michigan and transferred.
War number 20, Shea Patterson.
Yes, he was a Michigan Panther, I believe.
Yeah, DC Defenders sounds like a soccer team to me.
It does.
Yeah. All right, go ahead now with your food. Go ahead with whatever else you're
doing.
branding is fascinating.
I had thought we'd go like 3 minutes before you'd gotten sick and tired of this, but we managed 8.5 minutes. But for the win, the kind of pop culture offshoot of USA Today power ranked the top 5 Masters Champions dinners of all time.
Okay.
And so if you had a chance to kind of look through them, at number 1, they thought it was Scotty Scheffler's, the one that he did just this past week.
That's not low. That should be lower.
I agree with you. So we'll go to Adam Scott in 2014, who he has at number 2, which has artichoke and arugula salad as the first dish, Australian Wagyu New York strip, and then for dessert, strawberry and passion fruit pavlova.
That I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But what I think the fact that he went New York strip instead of ribeye, that's a shame.
It's a strike.
That's a miss. The salad sounds delicious. Artichoke, arugula, grilled calamari. I'm in on that salad, but that's not the best one. I'm just now looking at this list. Where is Hideki?
So Matsuyama's is 4th on this.
Okay, that's the best.
It was in 2022.
So the apps assorted sushi, sashimi, nigiri, yakitori chicken skewers, home run on all of that. Miso glazed black cod. So that's got to be a soup of some sort because it looks like he's got some broth in it. And then he's got the Wagyu, the A5 Wagyu beef ribeye. Now we're talking Japanese strawberry shortcake. I haven't had that, but I assume that it's very similar to ours. So that to me is as close to nailing it as can be. That's going to be everything that you want. What is this Tiger one in 2020?
So that's his 3rd best Masters Champions dinner of all time. 2020 with Tiger, he had for an app the Augusta roll, which is sushi, shrimp, spicy tuna, avocado, eel sauce, tempura flakes.
That's pretty good.
Prime steak and chicken fajitas as kind of the main course. I guess you could choose from one or have both, and then a dessert trio of classic flan, churros with chocolate sauce, and something else that I can't pronounce because I don't know what it is.
That's all right. That's not bad. I think Hideki's is the best, though, and I think Jack said that. I think the Golden Bear said that Hideki's was kind of an all-timer. Spieth went authentic Texas barbecue. I like barbecue fine, but like if you have the full capacity of Augusta National, how in the heck could they possibly do authentic Texas barbecue better than somebody in Austin could do authentic Texas barbecue? Right? I mean, there's a time to that. And I would never have it at Augusta. Like, I just feel like you're going to be, how could you ever replicate what you have in Texas?
You just hire them to come to you and cook it there with all of their stuff.
Even still, though, like I've been to some of those legendary, like, smokehouse barbecue places in, like, the middle of nowhere of Georgia. Like, you can't move that operation. There's no food truck. Like, how you can, the smoking and all of that just takes so long. Matsuyama's mine. What's your guys'? You had to pick one of these 5.
So I'm not going to lie. I think they got it right with Scotty Scheffler. Personally, I'm more of a simple guy when it comes to food, and that's a much simpler menu, and I like the firecracker shrimp. You've got the ribeye. I like Scotty's.
I like Tigers.
You ran it back, basically, right?
It was pretty close. Pretty similar.
Close. One change. Who you got recently?
Yeah, Tigers in 2020 sounds pretty good. Like, yeah. It doesn't feel like it's too heavy. Like Scotty's, again, you're going to need the defibrillator on standby. Like, is 90-year-old Gary Player having any of this? No.
No chance. No sauce. Nothing sauced up. He's not doing any of that. The Buckeye basketball program is worth a lot of money, a lot more than I thought. And Ross Bjork with some comments about what exactly should be expected of the men's basketball program. That's coming up next. Ryan Day in about 18 minutes from now. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Sometimes you don't realize something was bothering you
until it's gone.
That's how you're going to feel
after we work our magic at your house.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Can I get Mega Millions?
Good choice. Mega Millions is bigger than ever. Jackpots now start at $50 million and grow faster.
Sounds mega.
And now, every game has a built-in multiplier. So all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times.
Bigger prizes, better odds, and just $5? Give me 2.
Mega Millions is bigger and better than ever. Get your tickets today at your local Ohio lottery retailer. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Common Man here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Watching big events are more fun at Hollywood Casino. For example, there's this draft thing coming up. Large men get selected to move to different cities and play football. That's all I'm legally allowed to say. Not only do you get the excitement of on-site wagering and camaraderie, there's prizes to win at the Sportsbook. And sign up for Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on the house. Do it now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand. Listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Your latest forecast will be in the 50s this afternoon as things dry out. Another quick burst of rain, maybe a rumble of thunder possible later today, but most stay dry. Will be colder Friday, mostly dry and in the 40s, mostly dry, partly cloudy, and in the 50s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
And join the Jackets, a special presentation from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Saturday at Nationwide. Each ticket's purchase includes an exclusive pregame panel discussion. Hall of Famers Anthony Munoz, Dick Vermeil. It's hosted by some dude named Ryan Baker. The first 150 to purchase the package will receive an exclusive Pro Football Hall of Fame and Blue Jackets co-branded mini football helmet. Go to bluejackets.com/Hall of Fame for your tickets today. When is this? So this is pregame. Where is this taking place in the arena, Big?
So this is going to be in the Founders Club.
Nice.
It's like a little room they have up there adjacent to the suite level. And I believe everything gets underway at 11 or 11:30. I just got the email yesterday with all the times.
How's your prep?
I did a lot yesterday in between my update shift and the Buckeye baseball game last night. So I got some cool little interesting tidbits, like both Dick Vermeil and Anthony Munoz beat undefeated Ohio State teams in the Rose Bowl in their careers.
How about that? Munoz, certainly at SC, I would have had that at the ready, but where were the heck
Dick
was
Vermeil coaching UCLA? He went from JUCO to UCLA for 2 years before moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, I did not know this, Anthony Munoz, a pitcher on the 78 USC national champion baseball team.
Jeez.
So we got a couple interesting tidbits.
I'm guessing he wasn't sports specializing. His parents didn't have him sports specializing.
You played them all back then, Bo.
Played them all, baby. When men were men and you played 3 sports.
Lincoln Keenholz or bust back then.
All right, that's good. Good to look forward to that. Busy day Saturday for sure around here with the spring game, obviously, and then the Blue Jackets game, and then there's a bunch of stuff going on around campus, including a battle of 2 top 10 teams on the lacrosse side of things with Ohio State and Maryland. The baseball team's home as well. So a lot going on. Looks like the weather is going to kind of make it good, too. So that's a win on that side of things. I saw this from the Wall Street Journal, and I would lie to you if I said I didn't do a double, quadruple, triple take on this because it's hard for me to understand. I don't understand it. It's according to Wall Street Journal, the most valuable basketball programs in the country. So number 1 is North Carolina. No surprise there. That makes all the sense in the world. Bluest of blue bloods, and there's a royalty feeling around Carolina. It all adds up. Number 2 is Duke. Fine. That makes all the sense in the world, too. I get it. $370 million is the value of the Duke basketball program. I think that makes all the sense in the world. Indiana was 3. On the list, 279, so almost $100 million less than Carolina, but Indiana was 3rd on the list. Now, Indiana, we talked about this earlier this week, has kind of become a museum program in that it's been so long. They're like UCLA. It's been so long since they've won a title. I don't consider Indiana a blue blood anymore. I think they're just on the outside looking in of that. I think the blue bloods, for me at least, are Carolina, Duke, Kansas, and Kentucky. Those are the ones. And I am floored that neither Kansas nor Kentucky was 3rd on this list. I am just as floored that Ohio State was 4th. Ohio State has the 4th most valuable basketball program in the country. Has not made a tournament in several years. Hasn't made the second round of the tournament since 2013. And somehow is the 4th most valuable. I mean, the value of the brand is the brand. I get it. That blew me away.
It looks like Kentucky's 9th on this list.
How's that possible?
The table that I'm looking at, because it says cash flow, revenue, and enterprise value. Ohio State, cash flow of $18 million, revenue $34 million, enterprise value $262 million. Kentucky, cash flow $22,000. So there might be a typo there, but they're saying that Kentucky's worth $223 million.
Where's Kansas on the list?
Not in the top 10.
The Kansas basketball program is not in the top 10?
No, Louisville's 5, Arizona 6, Syracuse 7, Illinois 8, 10 are Kansas.
That doesn't make sense.
But it's Wall Street Journal. Like, this isn't somebody's opinion, so they have numbers to back it. I don't know. It doesn't seem right. It does not seem right to me that Kansas and Kentucky would not be in the top 5.
It's one of those things where, like, you're not revealing all of your financial data.
Maybe that could be. I've been to a lot of games here. Last year, I went to a game at Rupp at Kentucky. If you were to tell me this is worth more than that, I don't understand. That don't add up. Like, it just doesn't.
It's a different experience, right?
Totally.
Bro? It's not even in the same ballpark.
No, it's like Buckeye football. Kentucky basketball is a lot like Buckeye football. That's what it feels like. Like, in your seat, ready to go. They were in their seat 30 minutes. The Rupp Arena was full. Cal was at Kentucky at that time. They were playing Arkansas. It wasn't like it was, this massive rivalry or anything like that. They won. It was a great game, but that experience was unbelievable. And next year I got to go to Kansas with Beamsy, and I anticipate that experience will be unbelievable. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. So this dovetails into a conversation or not really a conversation, but rather some statements that Ross Bjork made at an Ohio State's athletic award banquet on Monday. 11 Warriors with this. Some of these quotes are pretty interesting, and I think this first line is very interesting. We don't want to tiptoe around Ohio State basketball. I'm challenging our staff to think of it differently internally. We're not going to tiptoe around Ohio State basketball. So he reiterates that. We know what the standard is. We have blue blood elements in our history. We need to be more consistent. I mean, that's pretty strong. We don't need to tiptoe around Ohio State basketball. He adds, I think with football, obviously, we have such a great foundation. With basketball, we really need a strategic approach with Jake at the helm. So we need to help him and with some messaging. Obviously, roster retention and building is part of that. Game day atmosphere in the shot, what can we do? You know, you can't really downsize the shot, but how do we make it a tighter feel? Is that lighting? Is that seating sections that we look at? How do we get the students more involved? What's our messaging around the program? He's so smart on this stuff. I like that he says this stuff out loud. Like, we can't downsize the shot. Everybody knows it's too big. Everybody knows it's too big. It's well known. So what do? Do you do like what the Lakers do? Do you turn the lights off on the stand so it looks more intimate? Do you close off maybe the entire top of it, like they do sometimes for women, and just sell the bottom and sell it out?
Yeah, not sometimes for women, all the time, unless Caitlin Clark was in town. It kind of baffles me that they don't do that more, or at least, hey, everybody, you can come down.
Yeah. These comments on Jake. Jake's the right guy. He's got the right energy. He rates the players. He's building this in the modern era. Now we just to put all the resources behind him, too. The same thing goes with Kevin McGuff. Basketball should be more at the forefront. So there's a lot of elements that we're working with both programs on, but in particular with Coach Diebler. He had this anecdote, too, and I remember Thad saying this when I used to host the Coaches Show. I remember talking to Thad Mott at one point in time and saying, hey, what was the secret sauce at Ohio State? He goes, 6 hours. If we got the best players within a 6-hour radius, we're a Final Four team. This is what has happened, though, in the last decade plus, and it happened at the end of Thad's run, too. Ohio State stopped getting those players. The very best they didn't get. They didn't get Trey Burke. They didn't get Luke Kennard. They didn't get Garen Peterson. They didn't get Jerry Easter. They didn't get those type of players. So that's the other thing, is that, yeah, you can do that, but that's a tough road to hoe, and it's all uphill trying to land within 6 hours. I mean, that takes you all the way through Indiana. It takes you all the way to D.C. There's a lot of talent in that window, but it's hyper competitive for that talent. But I do like what he's saying. I don't think it's, when he's talking about the messaging, I think when he talks about, he reiterated this twice, we don't tiptoe around Ohio State basketball. And then you reiterate it. We're not going to tiptoe around it. So more is expected. And when he's talking about the messaging and the money, all of that, that is what we talked about it with Paul about an hour ago on the SEC side of things, right? Talked about it. Like they're putting their money where they have identified the sports they want to be great at, and they're putting the money behind them. Like Ole Miss having a collective that can steal a basketball player from Ohio State like they did with Cody McMahon, that's hard for me to wrap my head around. But that's what's happening. So Ohio State, Ross Bjork, the collectives, they got to decide what sports they want to be good at. And get the resources to those sports. It sounds like basketball is one they want to be good at. One other thing really quickly before we get to Coach Day in a couple of minutes. Great friend, Mark Panton, with a contract extension, making him one of the highest paid general managers in college football. He's in his 14th season at Ohio State. He created the position of general manager in college football. That position didn't exist. Urban had him at Florida. He brought him up here. First time we met Mark, we went, wait, what's your job? And then that's when I started calling him Ambassador of Cool. Because that's what he was. He was the ambassador of cool, and he continues to be, and he's still the very best in the business at it. There's just nobody close to him when it comes to identifying talent, recruiting it, curating it. He's the best, and so well-deserved on the extension for one of the really good dudes around. Speaking of good dudes, Ryan Day's a hell of a dude. He's going to join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking with no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. It's your money, right? So keep more of it. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest till 2030 plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call them today. 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and our pleasure to be joined now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Hotline by our great friend, the head coach, the national champion, Ryan Day, joining us. Spring game set for Saturday at noon. Tickets on sale. Get them now. No even fees on these right now, just $8. We need to pack that place for Coach Day and the Buckeyes. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. Before we get to what we're going to see in a couple of days, I wanted to go back with you over the last couple of months. You're a father. I guess there's plenty of times when your kids don't think you're the coolest guy ever. But over the course of the days and weeks and months that followed the national championship, was there a moment of a thing that you got to do because of winning that national championship that your kids were like, okay, Dad, that's pretty cool?
Well, I just think the overall experience of just the whole month of, where we got a chance to go, who we got a chance to be around, some of those experiences, and then ultimately being on that stage, hoisting the trophy, and, for them, they were a part of it. They're part of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and there's nobody more vested than the family. And so for them to experience all of that, and then just to go around and just to see the love of Buckeye Nation, when you're in our seat, you get to see, the ups and the downs and everything that go with it. But to see our guys respond the way they did and to win like that, it was great for them to be able to smile.
You and I are of a similar age. You find yourself on the set of The Tonight Show. I mean, you're a kid from New Hampshire, buddy. Like, this is pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, I would say so. I'll tell you, Jimmy Fallon was great, though. He's got a lake house up in Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. So like we met early, and he kind of made it easy for me to go on stage. But you talk about being uncomfortable. My God, we talked to our players about being comfortable, being uncomfortable. That was about as uncomfortable as I could possibly be, but he made it great. And what a great experience going to 30 Rock in New York City, and just, the history of that building, and then going from Kelly Clarkson, we're literally right across the hall to Jimmy Fallon. But everybody there was great. And by the way, like, a ton of Buckeyes in that building. They came from all over, so it's a lot that puts on those productions, and there's a lot of Buckeyes there.
I think, folks, a lot of people will use that term, right? Like fill in the blank nation. I think we're kind of the only ones that it applies entirely. I think you wear an Ohio State hoodie anywhere, you'll get an OH. I don't care where you are on the globe.
Anywhere. And I mean, we laugh about it all the time. And I'll share a little story. We were in Hawaii for a trip, kind of half business, and then we had a few days to kind of enjoy by ourselves. And we got away in this small little place, kind of a boutique hotel, and we actually gave another name just to kind of go unnoticed, very remote. We find this little bar with only about 6 seats in it, and we finally are overlooking the water. And it's just Nina and I. And the bartender comes over and asks if we'd like a drink. And so we order the drinks, and he says, well, I just want to say, man, I am the biggest Buckeye fan in the world. And we were just laughing about it. And he was great. But, like, the cool part of it was he says, thank you for allowing me to spend time with my father, because I flew back home to Centerville, Ohio to watch the game with him. And so for him to be able to watch this, was important for me and my family. Just to hear those stories has been unbelievable, and it makes you realize how big it is.
It does. The connective tissue is just unprecedented with this program. You guys just put a video up in the last 20 minutes of you getting a look at the championship rings. What was that experience like for you?
Man, they're big, and they did a great job with them. It's like I don't know how much bigger these rings can get. You have to drag them around, but really cool to see. You think about getting rings, and they made 3 rings for us. One for the national championship game, one for the CFP, and then one for the bowl games. And the one in particular has all kinds of different cool features to it. But it's really become like a trophy. I don't think the guys really wear their rings, but it's a trophy, and it's more the symbolism of what we all dreamed of this year. So to see that actually in person, the guys did a great job. We had a ring committee on the team. The guys put those together. They came out beautiful.
You are, speaking of that national championship, it wasn't that long ago, my friend, and you were kind of the Sir Edmund Hillary of college football coaches of, okay, we won it. No one's ever done this before. We got spring in like 6 weeks. What does that look like? You made some changes to the schedule. We're on the precipice of the spring game on Saturday. Are you confident with the choices that you made in terms of how to manage plays and reps and all of that? Does it feel like it worked to you?
Well, this is all new. So it was new last year playing 16 games, and now it's new coming off of 16 games. And initially when I sat down with Mick right after the season, when everything, because you're not really thinking about spring, you're just thinking about winning and finishing the right way. You have the transfer portal going on. There's just so much going on. Then, by the way, here comes spring practice. And so initially our reaction was, man, we got to be really smart about this. And then as we got closer into the spring, we realized the majority of the guys that have the experience and who have played in those games, aren't here anymore. So it became actually one of the more physical springs that we've had in a long time here. And I think that we've got these guys more and more reps, because that's the only way to get better is to play the game of football.
Yeah.
You don't play football, 11-on-11 football very often. You do a lot of drills, you do different 7-on-7s, but playing the game. So we try to do that the best we can, create game situations. And then, it's going to be a spring game on Saturday. So we need to see our guys react and respond in the stadium, because our opener's against Texas.
Well, that's the thing. That leads to the very next question, because in all the years you've been here, I've never heard you mention the opener and the opponent. But this is different. I mean, this is probably going to be number 1 versus number 2 team in the country. We had our crack staff on it. I couldn't find a scenario, if that is the way that it shapes out, that it's number 1 versus 2. I couldn't find a scenario where that's how a season opened, with the top 2 teams in the preseason polls meeting in game 1. How much does that change, or if at all, did that change your approach with the idea of, not that you ever wade into a season, but this opponent's different?
No, that's the reality of it. You can say, maybe, this coach speaks saying it doesn't matter, but it does. When you start with this style of a game, that preparation starts way before you play the game. I was down visiting Dabo Sweeney last year. They opened up with Georgia, and we were just talking about that, how that changes. For us last year, we didn't have this game, so I would hate to say it was like a preseason, but you had a little bit of a ramp up to the season with Will coming in and getting his feet wet, and some new pieces. We don't have that luxury this year. So that means we got to be on point all summer, and really that's going to start here real fast. We got to be ready to roll. So all those things are going to be important, because there's a lot of new faces.
And that goes to kind of what Saturday needs to be, because those new faces, the next time they go in that stadium, is going to be Texas. We need a crowd here, man. We got to get these young quarterbacks the feel of that. I think this year more than ever you need that, Coach, that you need to have an experience there that will do the best it can to mimic what that will be in late August when the horns come in.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal to put it. Because people say, well, what's the difference? Well, it's everything's different.
Yeah.
Where you play, you got the band, you got the crowd, you have TV timeouts. There's so many things that are different in a game scenario. And so this is exactly right, to get as many people in the stadium to be a part of this, to celebrate last year's team, which we will do with the ring ceremony and some other things, but then also, a peek into the future and what's going on with this group, because we have a talented group. They just haven't played a lot of football yet, and they need to play. And so creating that game-like experience on Saturday will go a long way in our evaluation and their growth.
Yeah, certainly will. And you mentioned in your press conference on Monday that the two quarterbacks are neck and neck at the top with Lincoln and Julian. And I remember talking to you a couple of years ago at an event we did near the Crew Stadium in regard to Lincoln and how much you really just liked him. Give me a little bit on both of them in your recruiting process, Coach. Not what they are now, but rather what in each one of those guys. And obviously Tavian's got a bright future too. He's just really young. But in terms of those two at the top in the recruiting process, is there a story you can share with the audience with both Lincoln and Julian? Obviously Julian initially went to Alabama and then came in, but that were traits that you identified as we want those guys here.
Yeah, love all three of these guys. They're first off great young men, very talented, and just haven't played a whole lot of college football yet. But I'll start with the oldest, with Lincoln. This is a guy who came in and went to the rivalry game at home late during the recruiting process. He was committed to Washington, had been recruited by other folks, but came in and saw what it was like to play a game in the Horseshoe, and he was all in. And that combined with the fact that he was a multiple sport athlete, he was a Gatorade, athlete of the year in the United States. He can windmill dunk. He was a Major League Baseball product. He's become almost like a scratch golfer. Like he's got multiple. I mean, he's amazing. Jeez. So, if you're playing a game, you want him on your team. Julian is somebody. What a unique situation. We were recruiting him coming out of high school, and he had the opportunity to go to Alabama. And then when that all went upside down, had some great meetings with he and his mom and his sister, and just talked about what this was going to be, coming into a room with four other guys. But he wanted that. He wanted to be in a room with a lot of competition. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence in himself. He's got a quick release. His brain, moves quickly, has a lot of innate talent in terms of just placing the ball. And again, you've seen the release. You've seen how quick it gets out. So there's a lot of high-end talent there. And then with Tavian, as a youngster, you weren't sure. He's from Bellefontaine, Ohio, but then every year he would just get bigger and bigger and stronger. And then as you watched him grow, I mean, he just grew into this man who, is 6'4", just under 6'4", and he can really run. He's got a strong arm, and again, just somebody that needs to play the game more, but another really, really talented guy. So all three are guys that I'm excited to see play on Saturday, because we know they got a lot of great football ahead of them.
Coach, one thing we do is, and we'll do it tomorrow on the show, is what are the three things we want to see in the spring game, or the one thing we want to see in the spring game? I'll put that question to you, and I'll get you out of here on this one, buddy, and really appreciate your time. From your vantage point, what is the first thing that your eyes go to Saturday? What are you most curious about?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the quarterbacks. That's important. And the second is the defensive line. Those are the two areas that, we've got to, make progress in. And I think, overall, you want to just see guys flying around, making plays, clean football. You want to see their reaction. You want to see how guys handle the environment when you've seen a certain level of play in practice, and then you get out into the stadium with the bright lights and you see something different. It's noteworthy, good or bad. You see some guys rise to the occasion, and they like being in that environment. You see others maybe, have to learn how to handle that type of environment, because now things are different. You're on TV, the Big Ten Network's there, there's fans in it, stands, all those types of things. So you kind of just want to see that. But overall, looking forward to see how some of these young guys play, respond. But certainly I want to see how these quarterbacks do.
It's one of my favorite days of the year. It's the spring game at Ohio State. Coach, enjoy it. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, Bo, you're the best, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, there he goes. Ryan Day joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Spring game Saturday at noon. Tickets available right now. No fees, so just $8. And you're in. Looks like the weather's going to be pretty good. Low to mid 50s, no look of rain, so a perfect day to get out there and support. Fan pregame starts at 10 with AR and Tim May. That is outside the shoe. Then the network coverage starts at 11:45 for a spring game start of noon. Just stay on campus, by the way. Just go from football to lacrosse. Check out the baseball. Nice little spring Saturday. A little bit brisk, more than you'd want. Maybe want it to be in the 70s, but not anything that could hinder the sturdy souls of Ohio, I would think, on a fine Saturday in April. We'll get you three things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Steel, walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
As the spring game nears for Saturday, Ohio State head coach Ryan Day asked earlier this week about options for practicing against other teams and or perhaps a game against another team in the spring.
I think if teams, want to do that, then I think, the rules committee should take a look at that and allow folks to do that if that's what they want to do. For us, I'd be concerned about the health because when you practice, there's certain rules of engagement that have to happen. And so one of the things we really have to teach our players is how to practice. I'd be very, very concerned with practicing against another team when the rules of engagement aren't clear.
The spring game is Saturday at Ohio Stadium. This report was brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. I'm Matt Andrews on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Imagine a tailgate. The heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber Grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed, limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by Caster Connection, and it asks, who is your pick to win the Masters this year? Your options are Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, or other. 42% say other. Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa are the others that have been mentioned in the comments. But Scheffler's getting 24%, McIlroy's getting 28%, Jon Rahm 5% of respondents.
I mean, the other's the field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me the field.
For the purposes of my bank account, I wouldn't be mad with Brooks Koepka. Just saying.
What were the odds on him on your bank account before it all happened?
So I think with the little boost I got, it was 35-1, basically.
I gotcha.
It was 30-1 without that. I think this morning he went off at 28-1.
Okay. All right. Very good. It looks like this. I think his name he's a first-time guy, Aaron Ray.
It's Rye. Aaron Rye.
Rye. Okay.
All right. First time in. He's 4 under. He's leading this thing in his first ever Masters. Steven Jagger is second. So it's a Brit, and then it's a German. He's making his second Masters start, this guy.
Sorry about that, Bo. They just put up a stat in here that Aaron Rye, this is the best 9 holes he has ever had in a major. The -4 in 9 holes, his best score ever.
What a time to be alive. How about this? How about Michael Kim? I'm thinking of Anthony Kim. That's right. All right, so there you go. That's where you are at Augusta at the moment. All right, time for 3 things on a Thursday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number 1 for me. So, because of the inclement weather and the sogginess that we have been in for a month, yesterday when Buddy Garrity went to the groomers, we said, I told my wife, I said, let's trim him up a little bit. Let's trim up some of the feathers on our little golden boy here, and let's get him a little sleeker, a little easier on the cleanup. So she returns yesterday from the groomer, and yeah, he's been clipped up a little bit on the undercarriage and on the legs and such, so that'll make the cleaning easier. He, for some reason, she kind of like shaved the top of his head. So like his hair, there's a tuft of hair, like 3 inches, that's just sticking straight up on his head like a spike. He's got like a spike hairdo. So my bit on this, and the kids aren't a fan of it, but I am, is I ask him, like, God, buddy, aren't you embarrassed? Buddy, you look terrible. Are you embarrassed walking around with that haircut? And he just wags his tail, because if you talk to him in a certain tone, they don't know any better. It all sounds the same. But my kids get really, especially Bootsy, like it's really hurt that I'm making fun of his haircut. It's an absurd haircut for a golden retriever. I'm going to tell you right now, it looks ridiculous. My wife's like, my wife was like, well, I didn't even notice. I'm like, how do you not notice? He's got a flat top.
It's like he
looks ridiculous.
Hey, buddy, who cut your hair?
Dude, you're so embarrassing. I can't even be seen in public with you. We can't go on walks. I got to put a hood on him.
We had discussion about Masters Champions dinners earlier in the show. And I did some research, and the Champions Dinner tradition started in 1952, the year after Ben Hogan won it. He called back. At the time, there were only about 12 former winners of the Masters. It's in the 89th running down in Augusta today. And so they just did a steak dinner. Was whatever the clubhouse had available for it. Jack Nicklaus, when he won in 86, his 87 Masters dinner, appetizers, Gulf shrimp cocktail, Graber olives, corn sticks, brie or Havarti cheese with wafers. He had a green tossed salad. The dinner was your options: African lobster tail, New York prime sirloin steak, chicken, boiled or fried, fresh fish, broiled or sauteed, green beans almondine, which I just learned was the green beans with lemon and almonds. Yeah. You had sliced carrots, baked potato, and then your choices of dessert: ice cream, Black Forest cake, cheesecake, pound cake, which pretty much just like we went to the clubhouse and whatever they offer.
I was just going to say, that meal sounds like a media luncheon.
Yep.
That Jack did. That sounds like a media luncheon. We've come a long ways.
I didn't think that meal was ever going to end. That's a lot of food there for
a lot going on there, yeah.
Mr. Nicholas. So I don't think it's any secret that I don't believe any of us on this show don't really love a group text. And I am one who does not put my phone on silent at night just because I'm worried that something might happen, and that's the only way people can get a hold of me if they need me in an emergency. So I leave it on. Last night, I get into bed, and about 10:30, somebody starts texting on this group chat. And then this morning, I wake up, and by 6:30, the group chat is going again. We need to put a stop to group chats. If it's after 10 p.m. or before 7 a.m., do not do it.
I would also, let me just piggyback and say this. If I leave a group chat, don't take it personally. Like, don't. It's just, I don't. I guess that's the thing. Let's just have some understanding that if a group chat is in the mix and I'm out of it, it doesn't necessarily mean I hate all of you. It just means I hate some of you. That's kind of it. Number 2 for me. Speaking of texts, got a text from the pool guy yesterday. When do you want to open the pool? I responded, go to hell. July? I don't know. Gonna be a while, buddy. Forget those monthly checks for a while, pal. We're not opening it anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that a little bit. And I noticed 2 weeks ago when it was actually nice out that my AC wasn't blowing out cold air. It was just blowing out air. And so whatever temperature it was the temperature that was going to be in the car. And so I remembered to make the appointment to get my car serviced this week. And the mechanic at the other end of the line goes, well, just roll down your window. You'll be fine. I'm like, well, yeah, now I'll be fine. Like, I chuckled a little bit. And I'm like, yeah. But I want to make sure when the warm weather happens, because I think it's going to happen eventually, right? I'm going to need to have it ready.
Hopefully it's more warm by the memorial.
Come on.
I have always thought that watching youth sports, as bad as it may be sometimes from the sport-wise, it's the purest form of sports. So it's like the greatest thing in the world to see kids out there picking dandelions and kicking a soccer ball. I don't know if there's anything better in sports than the par 3 contest in yesterday at the Masters, seeing the kids out there, seeing Jordan Spieth's little kid. I don't even know how he did it with some kind of cross-handed grip on that club and just piping it anyway. Like seeing those kids out there and Rory's daughter making that putt. I don't know if there's anything better than in sports or life than that scene yesterday at Augusta.
Augusta National and the Masters tournament feels like the one thing in sport, and there's the Kentucky Derby's probably is like this a little bit, where time just kind of stands still. Whereas the experience is very similar now to the way that it was, 30 years ago. It really hasn't changed that much. This will be the third for both of us. I want to thank Coach Dave for coming on. He did 45 minutes with Man and Bone. Like he's come on and shared his time with all of us and is so gracious in it, and is just truly one of the genuinely great dudes. And to see him get that ring and see the emotion of seeing that ring and just listening to what he is doing in the program and what he's going to continue to do, going to be a very special Saturday at Ohio Stadium. Get out there, get your tickets, fill that place. Those young cats need to see what it's like when that place is packed, because the next time it's going to be against the Horns. That'll do it for us. Rothman and Ice coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And bet and reduce juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get Eco.
ECO.
A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get Eco to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, Eco would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available.